Welcome to another reaction video. With Bush, he reacts to whatever's hot on the YouTube street, speaking real and from the heart. Buckle up, welcome to Bush Reactions. With Bush, your go-to guy for the funniest, wittiest, and downright most honest reactions to the best and worst in entertainment. From classic movie viral moments to the latest celeb dramas, nothing is off limits. Hit that subscribe button and join the fun, because you won't want to miss a single reaction. Here on In-Tune Perspective. Stay tuned.
That's a fact. We back with another one. Your boy Bush reaction videos. Man, there's so much shit going on. Hope y'all ready to, chill with your boy for a minute. First of all, we're gonna start with the 1090 Jake shit, man. Everybody on your boy's top pause. They saying he working with them people. I don't really know what they saying. I just seen the headlines. Y'all know how I do. I bring it to you live, raw and uncut. I want to watch it with y'all and react with y'all, so that's what we're going to do. Shit. So let's start with this one. Hope y'all ready to, like I said, chill with your boy Bush for a minute, though. Let's go. This is, they saying 1090 Jake is responsible for this new sex, money, murder indictment out there in somewhere in Georgia, and they got the boy Hocus 4/5 all tied up in it. A lot of people, another indictment, another RICO. It's a damn shame how these RICOs is getting used, like, crazy. When back in the day, what these RICOs was for. They was for the mob, real organized crime, real dudes making millions, hundreds of millions, organized crime, real organized crime. But now they're using it for every little thing. So yeah, this gang, if they did the shit they did, fuck them. But 1090 Jake always been in the media for covering rats and snitches and rats, snitches and rats. They all get whacked. That's a song by 21 Savage. But anyway, let's see what 1090 Jake's saying, and let's do what the hell we do.
Detective Danny Polo is not just some crazed fan of 1090 Jake.
Actually, this is let me see. Let me give respect to whoever the channel this is first of all. You feel me? I know I joined it. Byron Blake. You feel me? I'm gonna subscribe. Byron Blake. So yeah, this Byron Blake video. Just so you know, shout out to my boy EST87. Cause it's a wobbler going crazy. Shout out to my boy B Rad. You already know what it is. Shout out to my boy, the Chi Chi Challenge, Chi Chi Mad. And that's In Tune Perspective. But let's get into this video though.
He's actually a member of the multi-agency gang task force that's based out of Broward, one of several agencies that investigated the street aspect of the prison drug operations that 1090 Jake exposed during his interview on the news. As I've established already, that whistleblower interview led to shakedowns at several prisons. Those shakedowns produced cell phones and
yeah, and that's why we was calling that boy a rat. That's why we was calling him a ratty boy, fat. Now let me stop. We was calling him a rat because he told on people in jail. He gave insight on certain things in jail. There's another situation that he was talking on too, but this is just one of the specific situations. We was always wondering, how did you get in that situation where you got to tell the police all the insights about jail unless you working with them, or you got a good friend. And now it's starting to make sense. He probably was a worker too.
those cell phones produced tons of information, including information about guys that were on the streets, and led to some charges against a lot of people. After this news clip,
Is that not ratting? You give information that lead to charges of people. Is that not ratting? Come on, y'all.
in which Jake admitted that he was doing it with the intent to bust up the drug operation.
I was trying to shed light on inmate deaths in the system and how many overdose deaths were being reported as natural.
Overdose deaths, I get that. If you're reporting on the police, that's one thing. But you was giving details on the operation, which is You know, if you're a citizen, yeah, I'm with it, whatever. Cause, but if you're going around like a gangster, claiming to be something, then that's ratting. As simple as that. Plain and simple. Let's listen though.
Or accidental. I was sent videos by current prisoners who couldn't get the message out, so I used my platform to be their voice.
Jake was recognized as a credible source by law enforcement all throughout the state of Florida, including Detective Danny Polo, who was also a deputized special agent with the DEA and ATF. Most notably, Detective Danny Polo recognized that in these times, everybody posted everything on social media, including gang members and gang affiliations. So, when he wanted to learn about these Florida prison gangs that he was investigating for this drug operation, he started watching 1090 Jake. Because 1090 Jake had all of these Florida prison inmates come on and divulge information about the workings from the inside. 1090.
Wow. Wow, Jake. Y'all know what we call police in New York, right? We call them Jakes. And his name is Jake. Jake and the Fat Man. He's Jake and the Fat Man all at once. Come on, man. It's 1090 to Jake. Let's be real here. Let me rewind a little bit though, because I want to see that's crazy as hell. Go back.
Jake also identifies himself as this big 1090 Jake. Because 1090 Jake had all of these Florida prison inmates come on and divulge information about the workings from the inside. 1090 Jake.
And they got big views. Some of them got 200K views, 122 view, K, all big Ks. And yeah, niggas, they made money. 1090 Jake made money off of that. I hope he broke them off something, but we know he didn't. Because nowadays, clout is worth more than money. If his channel popping, they gonna want to do it anyway. So we know he ain't getting no money for that, y'all.
Also identifies himself as this big bad blood and brings other inmates on to vouch for him, which at minimum makes him a credible source of information on the Bloods as far as law enforcement is.
He identifies himself as a big bad B from the B team, Red Gang. He identifies himself as a big bad Damu. So let's remember that as we continue. Remember how 1090 Jake calls himself a blood. He got his fame off of being a blood. Adam 22 went and invited him to No Jumper if he wasn't a blood. The white boys love that. The white blood is beautiful for them. They love it. But come on now, let's really peep what's going on here.
Is concerned. So it was like finding gold at the end of a rainbow when Detective Danny Polo heard 1090 Jake on No Jumper discussing sex, money, murder.
I hit up the Island Boys because they're talking about they were saying they were sex, money, murder.
Right, yeah.
All right, well, you in the state of Florida, so if you're gonna be that, there's a specific you have to know. I wanted to know if he knew that specific person. He didn't.
Not Chico, that guy who kidnapped him?
Wow, bro. Wait. Y'all gotta understand what's really going on. He's making it clear for the police, like, if you in Florida, you sex, money, murder, you gotta know this person. Now, you know the police interested in what person he talking about. And from what we understand, he got direct relationships with them police. So he giving up the information, bro. Wow, I hope y'all see what's going on. It's okay, though. It's okay. Just like with Charleston White, Wack 100, we see what's going on. The criminals might not see. I'm not a criminal. I don't break the law. But god damn, you got a real blood, allegedly, giving up real info on real people, on real peas, y'all. Shout out to the who's on real good peas, on good peas, y'all. Yeah. Hey, this shit is funny though.
Nah, I'm talking about a real blood. You know what I'm saying? Everyone
No, I'm talking about a real blood.
knows each other. Everyone can get in contact. That's how you figure out who ain't what they said it is.
1090 Jake had already given Detective Danny Polo a starting point by posting on his YouTube channel that documented gang member 21 Murky was responsible for blessing the Island Boys in.
Surprisingly,
21 Murky. 21 Murky. The boy's giving real information to them police. He's giving them real info, and they using it. They working with it. He got a credible channel. His shit lit. He talking his talk. He know people. Real people already exposed this dude, but it's obvious that he's still privy to information, and he's still giving it up.
Fly was a likable person and kept everything real, which is what I respect about him. More or less, the island boys were blessed in to Sex Money Murder by a rapper named 21 Murky, who's apparently from Florida but affiliated with 21 Savage's people out in Atlanta.
Detective Danny Polo would stay true to his word and begin scrubbing the social media of Jakevius Smith, aka 21 Murky. And this would help him tap into the street side of the prison drug operation that he was investigating. Eventually, Detective Danny Polo would work his way to the top of the street hierarchy and would break the news via a press.
21 Murky. Them fans wouldn't have if they wouldn't know nothing about boy if it wasn't for the Porky Pig, 1090 Jake. Y'all know what we call Jakes. Y'all know what we call police in New York. What we call police in New York. What we been calling them. Jakes. This boy is Jake and the Fat Man all at once. Jake and the Fat Man.
Press conference from Polk County that they had brought charges against Sex Money Murder, including this person who they identified as the leader in Florida. I guess the guy that Jake says that you have to know, Hernando Thompson, aka.
Now y'all really think this nigga happy that Jake identified him like that? Jake just made him the top dog. 1090 Jake just said, y'all from here in Florida? Y'all from Sex Money Murder in Florida? And y'all don't know this dude? He said it on a public platform for everybody to see. You think the police don't be watching and inquire about that? And they really already knew because he already told them. That's why he felt the need to just be able to say that like that. Like, since when gangsters do that? These new gangsters, these new age gangsters, and a lot of blood say 1090 Jake is their blood. This shit is crazy as fuck.
AAT murder. Evidence uncovered during that investigation would lead to a second round of charges against Sex Money Murder. And this whistleblower interview / prison tip turn wiretap case would prove to be big and shake the entire South.
This suspected leader of a notorious violent gang in Florida has been captured in Hastings thanks to a joint effort by the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office and Broward County Sheriff's Office.
Damn, we thought 1090 Jake was the only white boy out there gang banging. 1090 Jake is going to expose all the white boys. He's going to show y'all, hey, we got a lot of white boys out here banging. They want the clout. He like, y'all don't know about the white boys out here banging. Let me let y'all know. Let me let y'all know that the white boys get down too. Let me let the people know. And while he letting the people know, he letting the people know. He letting them people know.
23-year-old Andrew Mariano was arrested when the two agencies raided his home. And investigators say Mariano is one of 10 suspected senior leaders of the Sex Money Murder Blood Gang known as SMM.
SMM is a set of the Bloods street gang that operates along the East Coast. News4Jax reporter Eric Gavigne joining us now with more on this major gang investigation. Eric?
You know, Joy, it's amazing to see how far this investigation stretched and how many jurisdictions actually got involved with this. Now, this is a multi-year investigation led by the Broward County Sheriff's Office. The investigation started in South Florida with the arrest of two commanders of the Sex Money Murder Blood Gang. Their arrest led to the investigation expanding.
We know the RICO was started for the mob. Now, when you're dealing with these gangs nowadays, Pistol Pete been locked up under the jail forever. He couldn't sanction shit. He's the really creator and leader of Sex Money Murder. Hocus 4/5 is out the way, allegedly. He ain't got no say-so on nothing. So how are these people becoming commanders and just jumping in and joining? Because of the media, because of people like 1090 Jake saying, you can't be from this if you don't know this dude on a public platform. And now that dude became the top boss of that section. 1090 Jake saying, oh, this dude is the one over here, or he's the one over there. And now he becomes the guy. Literally, a lot of times that should be wrong. A lot of times they be wrong. The media ain't right all the time. These dudes ain't right all the time. And they could be setting somebody up for some bullshit that ain't even nowhere near what they making them to be. You feel me?
Ending into Central and Northeast Florida. The 10 names on this list have been identified by law enforcement as leaders of the Sex Money Murder Blood Gang, or SMM. All 10 suspects are now facing charges related to racketeering, which includes underlying offenses of conspiracy to commit murder, directing gang activity, and money laundering. 23-year-old Andrew Mariano of St. Johns County was the 10th suspected SMM leader taken into custody during a raid on his home in Hastings. According to the Broward Sheriff's Office,
What y'all think? I think this is that white boy a throwaway. He a throwaway. Tonight Jake had to give him somebody. He said I'm gonna give him the white boy. Ain't nobody gonna trip. The white boy a throwaway, y'all.
the lead agency investigating Sex Money Murder Blood Gang, the arrest of other suspected leaders led to the discovery of illegal gun and drug trafficking, fraud, conspiracy to commit murder, and even a kill list of the gang's intended victims.
During a press release, the Broward County Sheriff's Office would announce that this was a multi-year investigation that led to these charges against these Sex Money Murder members. Over the course of this investigation, they would discover that this group was allegedly involved in some conspiracies to commit murder, as well as some financial crimes and drug trafficking. Even more notable is that they also announced during this press release that aside from working with the ATF and FBI, they had also partnered with Polk County Sheriff's Office and the Florida Department of Corrections. This directly tied this investigation to the Polk County wiretaps investigation, which led to the arrest of T. Murder. That investigation stemmed from the investigation of a prison gang drug operation that was tipped on by 1090 Jake himself. This would not signify the end of trouble for Sex Money Murder at all.
Do y'all think 1090 Jake, because he's a blood allegedly, but he's not from Sex Money Murder. Could he be an op? Could he be an op of Sex Money Murder? Going to take him down from the inside? Is that the new way? You know, Wack told us the new way is to send them people at the people, send them people at the good people, send them police at you. You ain't got to go to the street. Send the police out. Is this the new thing? Is 1090 Jake taking out his ops by way of the police? I don't know.
Within days of announcing the charges against the alleged Sex Money Murder members in Florida, the FBI and ATF, who also worked with Broward County Sheriff's Office on this Sex Money Murder case in Florida, and who Detective Danny Polo is also a deputized special agent with, announced charges against alleged Sex Money Murder members in Georgia, including a personality that we know as Hocus 4/5. Hocus would speak out and say that this case is out of Savannah, Georgia.
Picked up by the feds and charged in a Sex Money Murder RICO indictment. I'm laying down in the house. I see sirens outside. And I hear, Hassan Harris, freeze! FBI! Like I'm being pranked. Like, hold on, what? FBI? So they take me into custody. They didn't want to tell me my charges. I get there, and my lawyer shows me that I am charged in a RICO conspiracy based in Savannah, Georgia.
Which is the same place that 1090 Jake said Sex Money Murder was recruiting from on No Jumper.
So I hit up the Island Boys because they're talking about they were saying they were Sex Money Murder.
This sounds like he's setting up a whole case for the FBI. This sounds like Porky Pig right here setting up the whole case for the FBI.
Right, yeah. More or less, the Island Boys were blessed in to Sex Money Murder by a rapper named 21 Murky, who's apparently from Florida but affiliated with 21 Savage's people out in Atlanta.
Detective Danny Polo and his work would be directly connected to this case when a news release would announce that this was a 4-year investigation, starting in the exact year as the investigation in the Florida case.
21 Murky blessed the Island Boys in. They must be paying. They gotta be paying like they land.
But also announcing that some of the arrests made in connection with this case had been made all across the country, including arrests made in the state of Florida. Some of the overt acts listed even alleged that Georgia members were helping Florida members flee to escape prosecution in crimes committed in the state of Florida. Another thing that happened in 2021, and something that I believe bolstered Detective Danny Polo's credibility as a gang expert and 1090 Jake's credibility as a source of information for these gang experts.
Damn, bro. Look at homie teeth situation. Whew. He make money. I know he fixed that by now. But, you know, this story is making a little sense to me. It's making sense. This boy been telling for a while now.
Is Detective Danny Polo being introduced to the YNW Melly trial. This was also a kind of bad thing because this is where Detective Danny Polo revealed that 1090 Jake was his source.
Okay, do you see the individual identified as Jamal Dimmons in this picture?
Subject right there.
Okay.
So you saying that white boy, he the leader, he in charge of these niggas? Yeah, all right.
The other individuals that are in this photo, were you able to identify them?
Yes.
And who are they?
This is Jamal Mitchell, who's in the email chain, sent through the YNW Melly booking Gmail account. This is Jaquan Burton, Q-Shine, or Perk, as saved on the phone. This is Derek Dixon, aka Gino, saved on the 9807 phone number.
And the hand signs and symbols that are being shown, what are they indicative of?
So this hand sign right here, that's a big B for blood. This right here is G-Shine, same hand sign that Melly or Mr. Demons is throwing out. Same hand sign he puts on his music albums and commonly uses. It's a specific hand sign just
So, but wait, because G-Shine is a different faction from Sex Money Murder, if I'm not mistaken. And G-Shine is where Porky Pig, I think, is from, allegedly. I think. I'm not sure. Well, I want to get to the bottom of this. Why are they showing these G-Shine niggas? That's not Sex Money Murder, unless... Let me listen. I'm twisted.
G-Shine to the Gangster Killer Bloods. Well, this is a universal hand sign for Bloods. This is universal hand sign for Bloods. This is specific to Gangster Killer Bloods.
When asked to verify how he knows this information in front of the court, Detective Danny Polo would cite 1090 Jake as his source, specifically highlighting two interviews that 1090 Jake had done. One being on No Jumper, the other on Vlad TV. He cited...
So on both of these interviews, we let it go past, but he was giving up real info on his interviews. He wasn't just talking about stories about his life, his coming up, his upbringing, things that happened to him. He's talking about an organization. He's giving out details and real information. Could that be all a strategy? Yeah, go on to interviews, give it up that way, so that way you're not looking like a rat. But really, ain't no more, that's real ratting. Because you ain't even got the police in your face. So that's a different kind of ratting. Hey, I hope he got a couple implants in his grill, though. Let's go.
This No Jumper interview because during this interview, 1090 Jake would be in the presence of documented members and identify himself as the biggest white blood.
A lot of people like, oh, ain't no white bloods, ain't no this, ain't no that. There really ain't. Right. So at this point in time, not to sound no type of way, but I'm about the biggest known white blood that there is.
1090 Jake would also discuss his blood membership during a Vlad TV interview. It's because of this verification of his membership that Detective Danny Polo took his word at face value when he spoke on certain topics involving the Bloods. One of those topics being the hand signs that YNW Melly reps.
Brought me into the YNW Melly case. Really? Yeah. How so? Because the gang that Melly is repping is my shit.
Besides the fact that Jake basically bragged about being...
Oh my God, what a yo, he proud of it. I mean, interviewed the YNW Melly case. He want to be identified with YNW Melly because Melly, is a star who's accused of killing his friends. But he want to be identified with that for the clout. The clout is a danger. Yo, the clout could make dudes be ratting and don't even know they ratting type shit. But I think he know he ratting.
being mentioned, something else would bolster his credibility and Detective Danny Polo's credibility. And that's what Detective Danny Polo found while he was investigating YNW Melly and his gang ties.
Yo, beloved, what set is Young Thug pushing now? Young Thug, the rapper, who just got indicted.
And so it says the response from the 9807 number?
Still the same set. Murder. Murderer, no, the crime.
I never heard one rapper, one notable person in the industry speak on Young Thug, what he claiming and his gangs and all that. Never heard one of them. I never heard a YouTuber really speak on it. I know they out there, but I'm saying like a notable one. I never really. Now you got this dude because he's a so-called whatever he is. He gets to just talk freely and expose all the information. But he's a member. He's not a pedestrian. He's not a regular citizen. He's supposed to be a member. Now, if that's not crazy to y'all, I don't know what is.
Murder, sex, money, murder. One of the UBN, United Blood Nation blood sets.
Okay. And then the response as to the fifth floor. What does that mean?
Fifth floor is referring to the ranking system, as I described previously. You call them a fifth floor, call them a 5-star general. It depends on what the set wants to use as their title. But
I guarantee he had to make a deal with them people, and that's why he's there. He made a deal. He saved his ass out of some shit, yo.
It's consistently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, low, high, Godfather, head.
This information about Young Thug and YNW Melly's connection would spark up the conversation once again about a Florida and Georgia sex, money, murder connection. And this would help Detective Danny Polo further his investigation. Information like this helps with getting search warrants and stuff like that. So at the same time as Detective Danny Polo is learning about this Florida-Georgia connection via this YNW Melly case with Young Thug being mentioned, 1090 Jake is on the internet going on rants about the Island Boys claiming sex, money, murder, and allegedly being put on by somebody who's from Florida but deals in Georgia. Shortly after that, the Polk County wiretap indictments come out. They got charges against sex, money, murder for running a prison drug operation. Shortly after that, the first round of indictments come out in Georgia, which is mostly Georgia residents, but it also includes somebody from Polk County. Yes, it says Lakeland, Florida, but Lakeland is in Polk County. That's the same Polk County where this sex, money, murder investigation originally began, and the same Polk County that also partnered up with the ATF and FBI during this investigation, along with Broward County and a few other counties. So no, Detective Danny Polo is not some crazed fan who just brings 1090 Jake up because he's popular on the internet. 1090 Jake has proven to be a reliable source for them. And by them, I mean the names that you just saw on that list: the Broward County Sheriff's Office, the ATF, the FBI, Polk County Sheriff's Office, along with the Florida Department of Corrections, which is the agency that he originally provided this tip to.
Every single compound I hit, there was all types of drugs on there, whether it's prescription pills, Molly, some spots there was cocaine and meth, but nothing more common than K2.
Jacob Cherry. Well, if nothing else, I guess we see the true power of what a news interview and a tip can do. And of course, that's speaking from both ends of the spectrum. Now, I'm not saying that 1090 Jake got Young Thug or YNW Melly locked up, but I am saying that during the course of those investigations, 1090 Jake played a crucial role in deciphering gang language and hand signs just by doing what he's been doing on the internet for the past couple of years. And I believe he did that knowingly, especially after the news trip, because there's not much of another type of relationship he could have with them after that, especially when he said that he was using his platform to be a voice, and that's like inviting them to watch your platform at all times. So I believe that he did that knowingly, And it's pretty hard to doubt after the news clip and, the approach that he took to going on the news. But this is just me and my opinions on it. Y'all comment, let me know what y'all think.
Yeah, I believe the boy a dropout on the low, and he's like, I'm gonna use my powers to fight this, and also, get my clout on too, type shit. Cause I don't know how we could explain this. He been giving up real information for a while, like real info for a while. And the police been using it, putting it together. Smoothly putting the shit right together, no problem. They go right to his page, put everything together. And that's crazy as hell. But he been doing it freely and earning a reputation, getting money off of it. And it's like, wow. But we see what's going on. So once you see what's going on, you can really peep it, analyze it, and don't let the fat boy get away with it no more. The Porky, you feel me? Porky Pig. Because this is some real Porky Pig behavior, bro. Pigs want everything. Pigs are greedy. You know what I mean? Running a whole nother situation, a whole nother play. Now, related to that 1090 Jake situation is the Hocus for a Fifth thing. He's a member of Sex Money Murder, but he claims he's not involved no more. And now, he's blaming Wack for the indictment or whatever else involving him, a whole RICO indictment that 1090 Jake just was talking about. He's the one that exposed it. He the one that probably tipped the police off and got him on this hunt. So, I guess Wack 100 heard that Hocus blaming him for the indictment. I don't know. I don't even know. So y'all already know I'm real time with it. So we're gonna analyze this and see what's going on, and listen to this bullshit. We know Wack 100. A lot of his ops, they go down by the hands of the police, nigga. So let's watch this shit.
In there, where the media team, we got content. Yo, so we got Hocus for a Fifth. He over there did me a cease and desist that he wrote out. I tell that if you don't eat it twice, you hear that?
If Hocus is smart, he definitely better get out and do a cease and desist because you facing some real trouble now. You don't want Wack running his mouth about your situation, assuming shit, claiming shit, lying, saying anything for clout, because that's what Wack do. You don't want that. So yeah, stop talking about me. Basically, what he want, it's like keep my name out your mouth, especially right now when I'm facing some time, shit, federal shit.
Well,
when he started talking, you got under their faces.
Sends me a cease and desist. Now this, you done insinuated some shit on my name and turned around and served me with a cease and desist that you wrote out, some shit he wrote out. I said, Hocus, I can read anything I want that's public record, you weirdo. That's not doxing, dummy. You're pulling my stuff. It's public records, not doxing, idiot.
But you're the idiot, because when you reading stuff, you always add your 2 cents. Try to sway whoever you're reading it to agree with you, sway the opinion. That's what you do. Let's be real here. You ain't just reading shit and that's it. The fuck, you just read the document and that's it. You don't say nothing else. Come on now.
Like this, Hocus is real slow. If you really listen to him, if y'all listen to,
he say that about every op of his, real slow. If you really listen to him, nigga, you think you the nigga? Oh my god, bro, you're not the sharpest tool in the shed. You got Game going through the bullshit. You got Blueface in jail. You got no artists. You fucked up out here. You left your wife. Like, you're not the sharpest tool in the shed, homie. You in a whole world of mess that you thought was smart. You thought you was smart, but you ended up it's not looking smart for you. your career is not looking that smart. So don't talk like you so smart, like you so sharp, and everybody else dumb, because that's what you do to everybody.
His thought process is delayed, and he's slow as a mother. Is really. I said, Hogan, so 6 months ago we let it go, right? Yeah. I said, okay, so yeah, but Wack, 2 years ago, okay, 2 years, 6 months ago. I said, all right, since you want to play now, go in and pick it up. He running content on it. We about to do a 3-4 hour room on this nigga's whole everything. Kind of find out this nigga was accepting unemployment from Georgia and California at the same time. See, I told him, I said, bro, just go head on, clean it up. It'll take you 45 seconds. Or you gonna force us and we're gonna be on you 45 days. Now, once we get to running the rooms, people gonna start grabbing the shit, cutting it up. I warned him.
See, another thing, Wack, you ain't lit like you used to be. Nobody grabbing this shit and cutting it up no more like they used to. You know, I'm talking about it because it's related to the Porky Pig situation, sex, money, murder, Hocus 4/5, all that type of shit. But nobody grabbing your shit, cutting it up no more like they used to. Content ain't really content no more like it used to, you know, because your credibility got knocked down a lot of notches. But let's go.
But Wack, I'm telling you on Clubhouse, I was wrong. I should go back to the platform you said it on. That's what you do. Nah, I'm not doing that. I said, okay, well, you gonna force me to defend myself. I can't believe this nigga. I'm gonna drop that shit in the thing. Weird as a mother. Dumb as a box of rocks. I guess he thought because he had my name and date of birth, that was gonna make it official or something. I don't know what to think.
Ain't nobody worried about what you got. Oh, I got the content I'm about to release. Wack, your credibility is shot down to the fucking under the earth. Nobody really worried. I'm about to cut this video in a minute. It's like, because what he say, there's no credibility. We about to get right into this Diddy shit in a second, but I want to see what else. Give me a second.
About this shit is crazy. Date of birth, cease and desist, threats, harassment, blackmail, and doxing. Blackmailing? What are you talking about?
You can tell that was self-written.
You always say, okay, I got this content. Leave me alone, I'm going to release it. Or I got this, leave me alone, I'm going to drop it. What is that? Is that, I don't know what that is. That's something, though. Threatening somebody with some content that you got. You feel me?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Harassment.
Oh,
you are hereby ordered to immediately cease and desist from the following actions. Issuing threats to release or expose private legal information about me. It's not private, it's public record, dummy. Attempting to blackmail me by demanding a public apology under duress. I definitely demanded a public apology. Threatening to dox or disseminate personal information in an effort to harm or intimidate me. We are definitely going to read your paperwork. Demanding that I make a public statement or appearance to clear your name. You already said that two lines ago. Engaging in any form of harassment, intimidation, or defamation against me. You got your nerves, so that's what kicked this off, right? You telling people I got something to do with your RICO. What the
I don't know. I never heard that content yet. I gotta hear the content. I heard the content where Hocus was talking about his RICO. He didn't mention Wack. He was talking about his RICO and what's going on, but I didn't hear him mention Wack. I don't know if that's even out there. Maybe he said that to somebody private and got back to Wack, or Wack is really involving himself in another situation, which, you know, that's what he do.
Know about sex, money, murder in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, not even Atlanta. What that nigga talking about? Atlanta. You have also explicitly stated you intend to involve your platforms and individuals in spreading defamation and private information about me, including but not limited to DJ Academics, Vlad TV, Poetic Flacco, Adam 22, No Jumper, Clubhouse, 100 ENT, YouTube, Instagram, and other platforms related to or controlled by you. But you can go to Instagram and YouTube and talk about me. Look, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. And this is a street nigga, right?
Shut up, nigga. You're not facing no time right now. You clear. The feds, you good with everybody. The feds, the police, everybody. You good. You're not facing no jail time. You about to be speaking on another dude that's facing a lot of time. And we seen what you did to Big U. We seen what you did to what you know what I mean? Like, it's a bad situation. You fucking destroyed Big U before the police even got their hands on him. So I would imagine Hocus 4/5 is like, wait a minute, just stop talking about me, because you about to do me, you about to Big U me. You feel me? He helped the police, like 1090 Jake. Another Jake. It's numbers. When you got a number in the name, whack 100, 1090 Jake. I don't know, they might be working with them numbers, them people, them 1 2s, them 12. One time.
Right here. This is a street nigga. I keep telling y'all it's over with.
Yeah, that shit over with.
It's over with. It's the street.
I know you want us to say that. I know, because what you involved in, what you did to Big U, like what you did to Loose Cannon, what you did to whoever else, nigga. We know you want us to say, oh, the streets is over with. How you go fucking with Troy Ave, but then talk shit about and say Jim Jones is a rat? How you go fuck with Tekashi 6ix9ine and then turn around and say 21 Savage is a rat? Like, selective politicking, dealing with real rats. You want us to say, yeah, it's over. The streets is over with, yeah. Okay, the streets is over with. I'm not in the street.
Oh, it gets worse. You say you go to the law and everything.
The block.
These actions constitute blackmail, harassment, and potential witness intimidation. Witness intimidation. All of which are violations of civil and potentially other legal statutes. What is he talking about? Witness intimidation. Who the witness? It's dumb as a box of rocks. I have preserved evidence of these threats and communications and prepared to present them to the appropriate legal authorities if these actions do not immediately cease. Sex, money, murder. Big Bronx guy, right? Castle Hill Projects, right? That's your man's. We are...
Whatever, nigga. We playing the paperwork game. We playing the legal game. Paper, money, nigga. Yeah. You fucking with this, and you gonna have to pay if you violate. It ain't oh, Big Bronx guy. Oh, wow. What you want him to do? Come kill you? You want him to call goons and come find you or whatever? Come on now. Let's be realistic here.
Choosing not to name platforms above in our legal complaints at this time. However, if any of them allow you to use their platform to defame, harass, or dox me, we will pursue actions against them with the full power of the law. Bitch, we are reading. We got all your paperwork. All of it. It's been rolling in the last 2-3 days. We're going over that a 4-hour room. And then from that point, it's going to go to the YouTube streets. This is public record. Your dumbass, the one went on Instagram and told us it existed. What are you talking about?
So Wack is saying Hocus is a rat. Oh no, who gives a fuck? I don't know if he is or not, but Wack is threatening to release some information on this dude. That's pretty interesting, but the cease and desist, I can see why he's doing that, because he's fighting the case, and he like, let me try to stop this whole media rampage, this dude that sways opinions and jumps on him, got his whole team that doing things, releasing all kind of YouTube videos, swaying public opinion on me. Let me try to jump in front of that, because I'm about to go to court and face, do what I got to do. So, yeah, I don't got no problem with that, me.
You are now on formal notice. Should you continue this behavior, I will pursue legal remedies available to me, including but not limited to civil litigation, restraining orders, and additional legal charges. This your man. This letter does not constitute a waiver of any rights or remedies available to me, all which are expressly served. Sincerely, Hassan Harris, aka Hocus 4/5, and signed off with his gang name. Get the out of here.
You never heard of the First Amendment?
Man, weird as a mother.
And signed off with his gang name.
In the block. I called all kind of bitches and hoes. Now take that, add that to you. He's saying he can speak on me, but I can't speak on him. Boy, we gonna read the shit out of this public record, boy. We're gonna.
I ain't hear him talking on you, really. Like I said, maybe I gotta go do my research. I ain't hear him mention Wack name or none of the shit. He mentioned his case, what he going through. Wack is involved now, somehow.
Read the shit out of this shit. Let me go on there and bother him a little. Clubhouse TV.
It's just funny how a lot of his ops end up in Fed trouble. So a lot of people is like, you know, got their little conspiracy theories behind that, which is, you know, I don't know about all that, but it's a fact that the boy, whoever fucking Wack fall out with, all of a sudden the feds is on their ass. Let's test the theory as we go on in the future. You feel me? But right now, we gonna do what he did to Big U before the police even touched Big U. That was crazy as fuck. They were telling us about everything Big U did before the indictment. Hope y'all remember that. Now let's watch the next situation, how this shit go. Why is it doing this to me, bro? Damn, the homie calling. You know what I mean? Where is it at? Oh, there it go. Alright. This P. Diddy shit. I got couple things I wanna look over and shit, but we gonna start with this one. Get into the details. She's pretty good at all of, you know, detailing. I need some people that's good at really getting to the details of shit. So let's watch her. This shit is crazy. I'm still in, you know what I mean? As far as, I don't fuck with Diddy. He's a womanizer, like I said. He be whooping, putting hands on females. I don't fuck with no dude that do that. He's a piece of shit for that. But is he a mastermind criminal, you know, doing all the shit they saying he doing? I don't know, based off of Cassie's testimony. But now, you know, her friend got a new somebody else took the stand, and it was a friend of Diddy's assistant, actually. Well, this is some real backdoor shit going on here. But hey, because the only thing I got a problem with that is it's like, you've been working with the nigga forever, the dude forever. Why now you want to come out? You know what I mean? But better now than later. But it's like, if you disagree with something, then get up out of there. Don't just work with them, put them money, and then wait till shit go bad, and then drop all the shit on them. Let's go, though.
Puffy combs. And if you thought last week was intense, buckle up or pour a drink or say your woosahs, because today there was fire and there were photos. It turns out if federal prosecutors are right, Puff Daddy didn't just beat up his girlfriend. He beat up her friends, too. And two of those friends threw down on the stand today. You remember last week when Don Richard told the jury about witnessing Diddy attacking his girlfriend Cassie with a frying pan? Because, you know, make the eggs, woman. She said afterwards that Diddy looked right at her and threatened her career if she told anyone about what she saw Sean Combs do to Cassie. And Dawn Richard dropped this bombshell too when she said Diddy went way beyond just threatening her career.
Well, to me, she's not the best, the greatest person if she didn't immediately go to the people and report on it. She's a whatever. Let's go.
Where I come from, people go missing if they talk. And that's a quote. She said that's what Diddy said. And just when you thought things couldn't get any more dramatic, a brand new witness took the stand today, Carrie Morgan. And she's yet another woman who says Diddy beat her up too. I'll get to the part where she says exactly what happened to her and why she says Sean Combs did it. That's coming in just a second.
You got to understand how easy it's going to be for the females. We got to believe them, of course. I'm not victim shaming, but for somebody as polarizing as Diddy, yeah, Diddy could have fired them or said, no, you suck, or this or that, and that malice. So it's a tough situation. You know, I hope these lawyers do their job. That's all I'm saying, to get to the truth. Make sure we get the truth and not just some fabricated shit. That's all.
But she was Cassie's best friend until she said Diddy and his abuse of Cassie came between Cassie and her. Her testimony was absolutely chilling. But to understand just how tense this day really got, we got to go back to the beginning. Because when Diddy strolled into that courtroom in his signature tan sweater, white shirt, and sand-colored pants, nobody could have guessed how much mud was about to come his way when Don Richard started answering questions. That said, Diddy's multi-million-dollar lawyers did their fair share of muddying up Don Richard, too, and her reputation. And I'm going to get to that in a minute as well.
Yeah, okay. See, she's biased. It's okay, though. I need somebody unbiased. She's biased. Ain't no muddying up nobody's reputation. It is what it is. The truth comes out about these people on the stand. The truth gonna come out about them. And the muddying it up, no, you shouldn't have did it. Shout out to who's. You shouldn't have did it. Ain't no muddying up, you know. They're angels and Diddy is. Come on, everybody. There's no perfect in the world. Nobody's perfect. And these lawyers didn't muddy her up. They just exposed her. Let's say that. Because when you say muddy it up, it sounds like, oh, they made up stuff and put it on her. No, it's just expose her. That's all.
That was pretty uncomfortable, too. And not only that, but the Department of Justice released a series of photos that are really jarring. They were marked into evidence when they were shown to the jury, but now the public, that's you and me, we're getting a look at them, too. There were 8 photos in all showing Cassie in the aftermath of what she says were brutal beatings by Diddy. We're talking bruises on her thigh, bruises on her back, a deep gash over her eyebrow, swollen lips, black eyes. 3 of the images are selfies taken inside an Uber. Cassie's wearing oversized dark sunglasses and trying to hide her face.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
And then there's a stark picture of a knife, a large chef's knife that's just lodged into the handle of an apartment door to make the lock more secure. According to Cassie, she used that knife in 2018 to protect herself against Sean Combs. Last week, she testified that Diddy started showing up unannounced at her apartment. And in her words, quote, I was getting a lot of unannounced visits from Sean. I was trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Lock it, and I had a weapon. And finally, the hotel room. These next photos were taken in September of 2024 inside Diddy's suite at the Park Hyatt Hotel in Manhattan. They were taken on the day that Sean Combs was arrested. And they show all of the personal effects that Diddy had in his hotel room with him, like stacks of cash, bottles of baby oil.
All the way till he was arrested, he was still freaking on. That's his business. He a grown-ass man. I don't see, what's crazy about this case is these photos. What do these photos mean? He had baby oil, yeah, he want that. That's him. That's his business. He had this, that, cash. That's his business. What do these photos mean? I don't like the photos of Cassie. I understand that. It show how brutal and foul he is. But this shit, what it showed to me, he's a freak. That's it.
And personal lubricant, pill bottles, and bags of pink powder, which prosecutors allege were the same drugs used for the so-called freak-offs. Can I just say?
Damn.
Oh, where to start? Okay.
That's a lot of shit, though. The boy has some things. Jolly Rancher probably put a Molly and shit. What is that, a honey pack? Don't tell me that's a honey pack back there. I don't know what that is. That's like a honey pack, though. This motherfucker has some toys. And now we're going to listen to what she got to say. Oh, my God. Yeah. Go ahead.
So you got to think back to September of last year, of 2024. Diddy is like in the aftermath of the Cassie suit and all that stuff's coming out and the hotel videos out and everything. And we're now hearing, well, they've already raided his 2 homes, right? Big homes in Miami and LA. And we're hearing the arrest of Diddy is imminent. But then we're also hearing back in September that he is negotiating the terms of his surrender, right? This happens. It's not that unusual. You know, if you got a guy who looks like he's playing ball and he's like, okay, I'll come down and I'll surrender and give you my passport and do everything, you know, so that we don't have to have agents jump out of the bushes and grab me and throw me into a wagon. That's the circumstance we were in back in September. Puff was negotiating the terms of his surrender. That's why he came to New York. It's why he...
Yeah, but like you said, that's not uncommon. And he's not a violent murderer on the run or some crazy psychopath murderer dude. He's a crazy motherfucker, psychopath, yeah, I would say, the way I seen him beat up Cassie. But he wasn't a violent murderer type of dude that the police had to worry about. So that's not unusual for a rich guy like him to set up his surrender. You feel me?
He came to the Park Hyatt because he was still negotiating the terms of the surrender. And any moment now, he was going to like waltz himself into the federal authorities' custody. So what does Puff Daddy do?
Look at that old picture.
Well, if the Fed's photographs are accurate, he lubes up the hotel room. I mean, literally, it looked like it was ready for the next freak-off, right? Drugs, wads of cash, tons of baby oil, lots of lube. It's just like the pattern never ends.
These people so stupid. He's about to for a surrender or whatever. Can he not have a freak off with somebody that's consensual and do the things he like to do? The pattern of this is not, y'all not proving nothing with these pictures or nothing. Like, I want to see the hiring, the paying for all the weird shit, the shit that they accusing him of. She's saying he was about to have sex again. Oh my God. He want to turn himself in. He's going to have sex again. So like, these people are nuts. And you can tell why. Look at her. She doesn't have fun often.
Ends. And all I can think is like, how stupid could you possibly be? Like, how stupid could you be? He knew.
Not stupid, but arrogant and fucking pompous, yeah. You know, he's an arrogant dude. He thought I'm gonna have one more freak off before I go in, probably. Who knows? Oh, he probably thought he wasn't gonna go in for long. He didn't think he was gonna be there for long. You seen the shootout situation? Shine, shoot up the club, J-Lo involved, on the run from the police, get caught up, guns, this, that. And he didn't spend not long in jail at all. Got right out. So I don't think he thought he was going to be staying there for long. I really don't.
What the potential charges were. He was talking to his lawyers. They were talking to the feds. They knew what was coming. They knew it was sex trafficking. They knew it was racketeering. They knew all this stuff. And Puff decides to get a freak off set up. I mean, I'm guessing that's what it's for, because that's what it was for all the other times, allegedly. So let's go back to Monday, day 6, and let's jump right into it.
And it could have been a package that Puff's people knew have this stuff ready for them that's just routine type shit too.
Dawn Richard was on the stand right off the bat, and she started by revisiting that now infamous skillet incident. Skillet incident. Do you remember the one? She testified to this on day 5. She said that Diddy came after Cassie with a frying pan after saying like, what the hell with these eggs or something, like a fight over breakfast. And she says that he hit Cassie with a frying pan. The next day in the studio, Dawn said that Diddy pulled her aside along with a fellow bandmate named Kalena Harper. And according to Dawn, Diddy told them, quote, "Where I come from, people go missing if they talk," end quote. But Dawn said she didn't react. She said she told the jury she was shocked, but also that she couldn't believe, quote, this was the beginning of the group. She was talking about the launch of the band Diddy Dirty Money, the moment her career should have taken off. Instead, it was the moment that everything changed. And that was just how Monday started. Dawn opened up about the repeated abuses that she saw Cassie endure at the hands of Sean Combs. She told the jury that she saw Diddy punch Cassie, choke Cassie, slap Cassie. She said, quote, "I saw him kick her. I saw him punch her in the stomach," end quote. One of the most vivid memories she said she had happened at a summer concert in Central Park. Dawn told the jury, quote, "Cassie came into the bathroom crying. Her eye was swelling." And then Dawn said that Cassie began covering up the bruise with makeup and put on sunglasses to try to hide it. The prosecution showed a photo of that day, an actual photo of that day, and all three women, Cassie, Dawn, and Kalena, were all wearing sunglasses. And Dawn told the jury, quote, "We wore sunglasses in solidarity. I wanted her to feel supported." And then she dropped another bombshell. A dinner at a restaurant in West Hollywood where Dawn said Diddy again punched Cassie in the stomach. Staffers were there and saw what happened, she said. So were celebrities, she said, but no one intervened. Later, under cross-examination, we found out exactly which celebrities Dawn was referring to. They were Usher and Neo. And still, Dawn continued, quote, "Cass had big dreams, but Diddy made her wait."
Casualty of war, Usher and Neil. Y'all sat there and watched them do that? Really? Y'all watched them do that? Suckers. Because the real one, no matter who the hell Diddy is. Hold up, homie. Why you know what I mean? Like, he punched her in the stomach. Like, damn, you say something. You say something at least. Punch a girl in the stomach in front of me. Like, I'm not having that.
He made it clear he was in charge, end quote. Dawn said any time that she and Kalena would raise concerns with Cassie about the abuse, Cassie would report it back to Diddy. And then Dawn testified, quote, "Diddy told us to stay out of it and to mind our business." She said she even brought her concerns to the president of Bad Boy Records, Harv Pierre. Dawn said that his response was, quote, "It gets dark." Dawn pivoted to Diddy's drug use. Weed, cocaine, ketamine.
Another casualty. Harv Pierre. He's a big casualty of this shit. Yeah, his name should be more mentioned because he was Diddy's right-hand man. He's seen all the bullshit. He was with it all.
Molly, ecstasy, she said. And she testified he'd do drugs in the studio and at his homes. She told the jury that Diddy's drug dealer was a man named One Stop, who allegedly delivered cocaine, weed, Molly, even birth control and Plan B.
One Stop.
Dawn testified to seeing Diddy carry a gun twice, once in 2009 and once in 2010, but she admitted she never saw him wave it, never saw him cock a gun, and never saw him load the gun. And cue Atlas and the Atlas cam. It's a good time for me to tell you that Atlas is always in the studio.
Said One Stop, like.
Boy, oh boy, did Puff's lawyers make short work of Dawn Richard. This is when the rubber hits the road, guys. This is when a defense attorney earns her money. And
I don't give a damn. We want to know the truth about this female. We want to know the truth. Ain't nobody perfect. They come up there like they angels. We know Diddy ain't an angel. We seen what the hell he's really messed up. He deserved to be in jail for domestic violence for sure. But all this other stuff, let's see, like
millions and millions that Diddy is paying for this defense team was well worth it today. His lawyer, Nicole Westmoreland, did not waste time. Westmoreland started chipping away at the skillet story, pointing out that in Dawn's previous government interviews, she said Diddy threw eggs at Cassie, not that he hit Cassie with the frying pan. Diddy's lawyer asked, "Would you agree with me that..."
Oh, he hit her with the skillet. Wow. And what she said didn't make no ton of sense. Oh, these eggs are terrible. Wow. Like, if he was like that, man, he would have been in whole lot. Like, that's just a whole next level of foulness. But let's go.
"It's been hard to keep your story straight." And Dawn responded, "I told it to the best of my recollection." She was pressed again. Why didn't she mention the death threat in any of her prior interviews? Dawn said, "I'm doing my best to answer these questions. Those interviews were a long time ago." Diddy's lawyer fired back. "A death threat that you didn't recall on 7 different occasions?"
Thank you.
She also pointed out that Dawn never told the FBI about Diddy doing cocaine. something she testified to today.
Wow.
She also pointed out that Dawn...
Man, this girl is a she's coming across as a fucking scolded, molded. You know, she has her own. But let's be real here. Don't lie, Dawn. Tell the truth. Understand? That's all. Don't lie. Don't make up stuff because you got an idea. Diddy, we know he needs to be in jail for beating on Cassie, beating on any female. But don't make up some all kind of bullshit. He hit her with a skillet because she ain't know how to make eggs. Get the hell. Come on now.
Dawn never mentioned the celebrities at the restaurant either. Usher, Neo. Diddy's lawyer asked, "You would agree with me that as time progresses, your story changes?" And Dawn had to concede, yes.
Damn.
So she was asked why, if she was so afraid of Diddy, would she continue to keep reaching out to him after she left Bad Boy Records in 2011?
She got destroyed by Diddy's lawyers, but the thing is, you left 2011. Why you ain't say you didn't have Diddy had no power over you. You left him in 2011. You seen all this horrific shit. Write a book, do something, let the people know all that foul shit. Don't just sit there and let it rot. No, you didn't though.
After a long pause, Dawn admitted, "Yes, I did reach out." The defense then laid out the success that she had under Diddy. Platinum records with Danity Kane and Diddy Dirty Money. Those two bands were huge. Certainly big and successful compared to the underperformance of her solo career. So Dawn was asked again if her civil suit is about compensation. And she said, "I'm filing a lawsuit to get compensation for work I've done." Diddy's lawyer asked, "Which means money?" And Dawn answered, "Yes." And then it was time for redirect and a chance for prosecutors to try to clean up some of that damage that Diddy's lawyers did. They asked Dawn why her story had changed. She said, quote, "The environment was volatile. It was really hard to work," she said. "I tried to erase it from my mind." And when Dawn was asked if she had a chance to review the notes that the government took when they interviewed her, Dawn responded, "No, my legal team reviewed those."
This girl got absolutely destroyed, and I just, like, the truth is the truth. You tell your story, like, horrific details like that, usually it doesn't change. It's the truth. Her shit changed. All her shit changed.
Became emotional when she was asked about reaching out to Lorianne Gibson, a former judge from the TV show Making the Band, saying that she had hoped Diddy Dirty Money would reunite and help Kalena's career. Then the defense got one more shot. They reminded the jury that Dawn wanted that group back together, a move that would have meant working alongside none other than Sean Puffy Combs, a man she said she feared. And Dawn confirmed, "Yes, I would have worked with him again." And when asked why she filed the lawsuit, she said to be made whole and paid for the time with Mr. Combs. The lawyer pressed, "Which means money?" And Dawn said yes. After
Wow. Nobody prepped that girl, man.
Dawn Richard stepped down, a brand new voice filled the courtroom. Quieter, but just as gut-wrenching. Carrie Morgan took her place on the stand and sat tall. And right out of the gate, she said she did not want to be there. For nearly 2 decades, Carrie had been Cassie Ventura's best friend. They met in 2001, before the stardom, before the headlines, and before Sean Diddy Combs. Back then, she said Cassie was unstoppable. She was confident, she was joyful, she was full of spark. But as the years went on, she said Cassie's spark faded. She described Diddy as generous, sure, but intimidating and controlling and critical. And it wasn't just words. Carrie said she saw Diddy hurt Cassie. In Los Angeles, she watched him pull Cassie by the hair and hit her. In Jamaica, she says he dragged her across the floor by her hair and left her.
You was with her in Los Angeles. You seen that. You ain't do nothing. You with her in Jamaica. You seen that. You didn't do nothing, say nothing. All right, let's get some more examples of you just enabling your friend to get her ass beat by this dude.
Curled in a fetal position, barefoot, shaken, and bruised. She said Cassie ran off into the woods with the bare feet, and that when she came back, there was a lump on her head. And then came March of 2016, a night Carrie said she'll never forget. Cassie came home from the Intercontinental Hotel beating incident, wearing a hoodie pulled tight over her face. And Cassie had a black eye, she said. Not long after that, she said Diddy showed up at the apartment holding a hammer. Carrie said she panicked, that she called D-Rock, Diddy's security man, that she called Christina Coram, Diddy's chief of staff. She told the jury, quote, "I think someone called the police." Text messages from that night were shown to the jury. In them, Cassie says she felt trapped. Then came 2018, the night Carrie said everything between Cassie and her ended forever.
But y'all, am I the only one? It's like, if I see my best friend getting her ass beat, now obviously, she probably told her something. You gotta get away from if that's your best friend, or you just watched it and this is what it is, and you enjoyed the luxuries of being a best friend of somebody as rich as whatever. But with me, if I'm really affected and if it's my friend, I don't give a damn. I got to do something to stop it, or I got to get away from it totally. All the toxic environment. You don't hang around and go on every trip and just love. You know what I mean? Enjoy all the luxuries while your friend getting her ass beat and such. Like. And the thing is, it blows my mind, yo. Because when it rains, it pours. Now it's safe to talk about it. But this was your friend, and you watched her through all of these countries and all this time getting her ass beat.
Carrie said she was at Cassie's Hollywood Hills apartment when Diddy showed up furious, demanding to know who Cassie had been cheating with. Carrie said Diddy turned his vengeance on her. Quote, "He came up behind me and choked me," end quote. And when she tried to run, Carrie said he boomeranged a hanger at my head. It hit me behind the ear. Carrie said she went to urgent care that night, dizzy, vomiting, and was diagnosed with a concussion. It was the straw that broke the camel's back, she said. Cassie asked her to sign a non-disclosure agreement about that violent episode. And that, she said, that ended her relationship right there with Cassie. But there was more that she told the jury. Carrie said Diddy once exploded in jealousy when Cassie had a conversation with Michael B. Jordan. Carrie told the jury, quote, "They weren't even together anymore, but he, Diddy, was still jealous. I think Cassie was trying to leave." And then Diddy's lead attorney, Mark Agnifilo, took over. And rather than diving straight into the evidence or the non-disclosure agreement, he started by going back, all the way back, to the beginning of Carrie and Cassie's friendship. They met at a photo shoot in New York City, waiting for the Polaroids to develop. Carrie thinks it might have been her first modeling job. She's from Buffalo, and at the time, Cassie was already making decent money, $250,000 a year as a catalog model. The two became fast friends. She said they kept running into each other on photo shoots, and eventually, after graduating high school, they moved in together in downtown Manhattan, and their friendship lasted from 2001 all the way to 2018. Agnifilo pointed out how close Carrie was to Cassie's world and to Diddy's. She confirmed that she traveled with them often: Italy, Ibiza, Jamaica, Burning Man.
And she wasn't involved in none of the little FOs. I find that hard to believe.
And 3 times. Diddy's home, his studios. She was in his inner circle. And then the stories about jealousy. Carrie said Cassie was jealous of Kim Porter, the mother of Diddy's 4 children. Carrie told the jury that Cassie, quote, "told me she was upset. She never got to go to New Year's Eve parties. It was an ongoing thing," end quote. She also remembered Diddy introducing Cassie to artists like French Montana, Fabulous, and Too Short. But Diddy's lawyer wanted to get a sense of Diddy's jealousy too. Carrie admitted she didn't remember if he had a problem the time Cassie was dancing with Chris Brown, but she did remember one thing clearly. Cassie had shown an interest in actor Michael B. Jordan, and that bothered Diddy. Carrie said Cassie began talking to Jordan before filming a movie in South Africa. Carrie joined her in South Africa during the shoot, along with one of Diddy's assistants named Mia. And Carrie said plainly, Cassie was trying to leave Diddy. And then Diddy's lawyer asked about a woman named
Cassie seemed like the type of girl that go for what she wants. She seen the boy Michael B. Jordan, and she went for it. You feel me?
Gina, another person.
If she's really that paranoid and scared of old boy, she wouldn't be doing shit like that. But I don't know. Let me shut the hell up before I get in trouble again.
Linked to Diddy. Carrie said Gina was a big problem. She wouldn't go away. He was having a relationship with this little girl. And when asked what she meant by little girl, Carrie clarified, quote, "We treated her like a little girl because she acted like one," end quote. She said Gina was younger than the rest of them and added, "I'm pretty sure she got pregnant. That Gina girl. She and Combs were together for many, many years, even when he was with Cassie." And then the conversation shifted back to 2016, back to that infamous hotel beating.
You know, I'm pretty sure she got pregnant. This girl, da da da. Speak facts. She. That wasn't no factuals going on in there.
At the Intercontinental. Carrie didn't call the police that night, but officers did arrive. And when they did, she said they pushed her against the door, they asked her for ID, and wanted to know what happened to Cassie. Carrie told the jury that police asked Cassie what happened to her eye, but that Cassie didn't say a word. And then they moved on to some of the key players surrounding Diddy. Carrie confirmed that Christina Coram, Diddy's chief of staff, was always around. She said that she and Christina weren't close, but that they crossed paths. D-Rock was his head of security and part of the inner circle. Mia was
That's Biggie, homie. D-Rock.
one of the assistants and seemed to have the stamina for the nonstop pressure of working for Diddy. Carrie made it clear it wasn't easy keeping up. But the real breaking point for Carrie, she said, was 2018. That time she testified that Diddy threw that wooden hanger at her. That's when she said her friendship with Cassie unraveled for good. Carrie said that Cassie told her that she was just overreacting. And she said Cassie was no longer supportive of her. She looked at the jury and she said it plainly. "I draw my line at physical abuse," she said. "She never reached out to me." End quote.
Oh, boy. She looked at the jury and said, "I draw my line at physical," like an episode of Law and Order, you know. But she's another one that, you know, that they think is a bombshell, a pretty white girl speaking on getting abused by the big black, rich black man. Hey, I hear it, but I'm really listening for things about the RICO indictment. I want to hear evidence on that. That's what I'm listening to for. I didn't hear nothing on this racketeering, this whole, you know, what they trying to put him in jail for life. Why? I'm not hearing no reasons. I'm hearing domestic. I'm hearing bullshit that he needs to be in jail for a good 10 years, maybe. That's a long time for beating up or whatever. But he needs to be in jail for domestic abuse. But I'm not hearing nothing, or maybe assault too, or whatever. But I'm not hearing nothing on these major charges that he's in jail for.
Quote, "It's been 7 years, and those two haven't spoken since." Diddy's lawyers asked if she settled anything with Cassie. And Carrie clarified, quote, "It wasn't with Cassie directly, but..."
Cassie cut her ass off. It's not because of her. Cassie cut her ass off, man. Come on now. Come on now. Cassie cut her off. Y'all know that. Come on.
"I got money." Cassie offered her $30,000 to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. That's what Carrie told the jury. Quote, "It was so I wouldn't tell anyone what I saw, so I wouldn't sue anyone," end quote. They met at a pizza place. Cassie gave her a number. Carrie accepted, and that was the end. Carrie said, "I don't know why she hasn't reached out to me. I'm sure she doesn't have the same number anymore," end quote.
See? Cassie cut her ass off because she wasn't with the program. Cassie is all in. Cassie was with it. Said, "Bitch, get up out of here, you lame girl. I was already paid when I met you. You was nobody. Now you coming in, you have fun. I let you get too close. Now you know what I mean?" So Cassie cut her off. That's what happened.
Diddy's lawyer then stepped back and zoomed out. He said plainly, "It's a lot of chaos being in Combs' circle." And Carrie agreed. But then she added something unexpected. Quote, "It was fun. It was fun, too. I loved the crew we had. A lot of them were my friends. A big loss," end quote. And then came a surprise exhibit. Diddy's lawyer pulled up a text message from 2016, a poem that Carrie had written for Diddy. She sent it after the Met Gala, and she told Diddy, quote, "Sometimes it felt like he didn't love himself." And then there was one more thing. Had she ever encouraged Cassie to stay? Carrie said sometimes yes, but most of the time no.
But I want to hear that poem that she wrote to Diddy. Like, you painting a picture here, man, and we can't deny the facts. These girls can't lie. They on stage speaking the facts of what the details of what's going on.
Ignifilo closed with photos, images of Carrie, Cassie, and Diddy walking together in May of 2017, just after the Met Ball. It was one of the last times they were all seen together. But for Carrie Morgan, that entire world, the friendships, the music, the chaos, it ended the moment Cassie slid that non-disclosure agreement across the table.
And look at her defending her fellow white girl. For Carrie Morgan, that world, it ended. No. It ended when Cassie cut her off. That's when it ended. She didn't end it. Cassie ended it. And the girl admitted it. But look at her still trying to defend her. That world ended the day when... No. That's the detail that y'all don't catch, but I caught it. Cassie ended that, man. Come on. Let's be honest. Cassie ended that.
The final witness of the day was someone who'd seen Diddy's world from the inside. His former personal assistant, David James. David took the stand quietly, but the moment he began speaking, you could feel the emotion build. David James described the day he was hired. He said he was sitting in the HR offices.
I really want to know the details of when he got fired, because I know he got fired, and I know he wasn't happy when he got fired. So now he wants to come and say this or that. Like, get somebody that's working for Diddy currently that's going to speak on him type shit.
Bad Boy Worldwide Entertainment Group. The head of HR pointed to a photo on the wall. She said, quote, "This is Mr. Combs' kingdom. We're all here just to serve in it," end quote. David James was with Diddy for years, and the jury learned quickly that this wasn't just an assistant gig. According to David, he wasn't just managing schedules. He was helping orchestrate some of the darkest allegations in this entire case.
Well, his ass need to be in jail, too. He need to be a part of this whole situation, too. Oh, well, he's not, because he's giving up all the information.
He became emotional as he recalled how deeply involved he was in setting up the freak-offs, the same depraved, drug-fueled sex marathons that Cassie testified about just a few days earlier.
Yo, this media ill, how they turned that term freak off, how they just turned it into something. From what we heard from Cassie and in the text messages, she had fun, she enjoyed it. What we hearing from, there's no other, parties. Yeah, the prostitutes, okay. They get paid to do this, whatever else. Everybody, a lot of dudes, a lot of females deal with prostitutes and pay money and whatever else. That's normal. That's a part of the world. And prostitutes is the oldest profession ever. Now, look at how they saying the freak-offs. They turning it into something like, and I want to know where they going with it, because I'm not hearing nothing that's adding up to these racketeering, crazy-ass mob boss charges that Diddy's facing. That includes life.
He was the go-between, he said, the fixer, the right-hand man, he said. And when the prosecution asked about Cassie...
What is there to fix about a freak-off? You get the people, and they meet up, and they freak off. It's not like you murdering somebody or you doing this, pulling off a heist. What is there to fix? He's the fixer. What is there to fix?
The way Diddy talked about her, David didn't hesitate. He told the court, quote, he said, "I've got her right where I want her. She's young," end quote. He said she was very moldable. David also confirmed what many had already suspected, that Diddy was dating multiple women at once.
I know females, older females that date young guys, older successful females, they say, yeah, he young, he moldable. Nobody looks at her like, oh. I know older guys, yeah, I want a young girl so I can mold her. If she's of age, ain't no issue. I don't see where this is like, look at how they making him though. Look at this though. When we seen the video, yeah, like I said, he deserved to be in jail for the way he did her. And if he beat any female like that, his ass needs to be in jail for some years. But look at what they doing.
Cassie was just one of them. So was Sarah, and so was Tara. But according to David, there was always a main girlfriend. It wasn't Cassie. He told the jury Ms. Porter was his main squeeze, referring to Kim Porter, the mother of his children. And with that, court adjourned. But tomorrow, David James is coming back. And if his first hour on the stand is any indication, what's next could be devastating for the racketeering case. To prove racketeering, prosecutors have to prove that Diddy used his enterprise, his employees, his business to commit a series of other crimes like sex trafficking, assault, kidnapping, arson, drug trafficking, bribery, extortion. And that he did it over the period of 10 years. But he only has to have 2 of them proven in court in order to get racketeering.
Wow.
Right? That's all that the government has to prove. 2 of those predicate acts over the course of 10 years. This was the assistant who arranged the parties, kept the calendar, handled the secrets, and now this is the assistant unpacking them, one by one, in front of a federal jury. We'll be back with everything he says. I always say subscribe so you don't miss the bonus episodes. I just keep throwing them down.
I feel like this is a case of somebody
Hi, everyone.
in that office who don't fuck with Diddy. The domestic case, they know he gonna beat any domestic state case. They seen the video, they know that shit ain't nothing. So now they bring it to the next level with the bullshit, racketeering. I just feel like that, but we'll see. But from what I'm hearing so far, that's what I'm hearing. Now the Punisher, they said Diddy was hiring this dude named the Punisher. He's a stripper. Who was involved in these freak offs. We're gonna check out. On this channel here. What's this? Law and Crime. We fuck with Law and Crime. Yeah, they do good business, good work. We'll see what Law and Crime got to say about this whole situation with the Punisher, the stripper who was punishing Diddy and whoever he wanted to, I guess. Whoever Diddy wanted him to. That's what prostitutes do. They do shit for money. It's nothing, nothing confusing about that. They do shit for money. And it happens all the time. Now let's get into this.
From you as possible in the limited time I have with you. First thing I want to ask, the scene in the courtroom, because I understand there might be a new person in the courtroom. Was Diddy's sister there today?
Yep, Diddy's sister definitely was inside that courtroom. She's actually been kind of a figure that's been inside and present inside that courtroom, while the other family members, including the sons, including the daughters, including Janice Combs, Diddy's mother, haven't.
And we speak on it, they speak on it, but they brush by it. I get it. But the amount of family support that Diddy get right now, even though, like, if he was a real monster, and he is a monster, like I said, domestic violence, but I come up in the ghetto and we've seen that a lot of times, and I do believe you beat a female like that, you deserve to be locked up in jail, things like that, but it's a normal thing in the ghetto, you feel me? But if you're a real monster, your family ain't popping up at them courts. I don't care how rich you are, your family ain't gonna sit there and be dedicated and popping up at them court cases like that. If you are a real monster like that, what they saying, I ain't gonna lie to you. Family is family, but they trying to paint some old other picture. And don't get me wrong, he's a monster because I seen the video.
Haven't been inside that courtroom, but we definitely still saw Diddy's sister inside that courtroom, just kind of paying attention to everything, as well as even one of Diddy's childhood friends. He's the one who's always kind of wearing the free puff sweatshirt, the free puff hat while he's outside of the courtroom, definitely not inside the courtroom. But yeah, definitely Diddy did have some people on his side today, but just wasn't that full family presence that we were used to seeing, especially in those first couple of days.
Oh, yeah, it's interesting to always hear who appears there. Okay, so I have to talk about the testimony.
Now they analyzing that. You really think people could come every day? You know what I mean? Come on now. Let's be real.
Right now, we can get into David James in a little bit, but we talked about him a little bit yesterday. Talk to me about Cassandra Ventura's mother. So we knew that she was going to testify today. What was her value to the prosecution's case? Let's start there, and then we'll move into the cross-examination.
Yeah, well, initially we had thought, and by we mean me, Elizabeth, thought that Cassie's mother was inside that courtroom. I spoke with Cassie's attorney, Doug Wigder, who informed me that the person that we had initially thought was Cassie's mom was actually a victim's right advocate. So when Cassie's mom came into that courtroom, I was like, yes, this is definitely Cassie's mother, because they look so much alike. You would think that they were just looking kind of at an older version, a little bit of Cassie. But when she came inside that courtroom today to give her testimony, she just kind of walked up to the witness stand, kind of similar to how other witnesses have been doing it. But I think most notably, Diddy didn't really look in her way or look in her direction, at least when she had first entered the courtroom. At least when Cassie came inside the courtroom to do her testimony, even if it was on a day of cross, if it was on a day of direct, Diddy would kind of turn around and look whenever she had entered that courtroom, if he wasn't kind of chatting with his lawyers or anything like that. But as far as Regina Ventura coming into the courtroom today, it wasn't the same case. Diddy kind of sat while he was at his defense table, chatting with his lawyers. But a lot of the testimony as far as Regina Ventura being on the stand today was kind of in relation to just everything she had witnessed from her daughter during her relationship with Diddy years before. So she had essentially said that she had met Diddy for the first time in 2006, actually when Diddy wasn't Cassie's boyfriend. This is when Cassie was actually signing to Bad Boy. Regina just knew of Diddy as Cassie's boss at the time, before the two being Cassie and Diddy began dating.
I ain't gonna lie, that right there is disturbing as hell, and it's kind of foul. You got a young girl signed to this big bad record label, and then literally the name of it is Bad Boy, and then Diddy eyeing this young girl the whole time. Put out a single, put out a couple singles. I don't even know if she put out an album under Bad Boy. I don't know, but then all of a sudden she's his girlfriend, and you know, you see the whole setup. Like, it's kind of disgusting when you think about a record label. You want the label to get people talent and nurture the talent to be big stars. You don't want the record label to be looking at talent. You know what I'm talking about, the other kind of talent, and nurturing it to be under your control on some weird shit. So that part I hate too. I don't like that. You got a big label. You signing young girls. Picking out these young girls to sign so you could go ahead and have your free calls with. I don't like that part about it. That's disgusting. But let's go.
They dated here in New York City, and then they had moved to Los Angeles together. And once they made that move to LA, because Regina Ventura, according to her, she had been living in New London, Connecticut for about 57 years. So she has roots here on the East Coast. So when Cassie had moved over to the West Coast, it wasn't the same situation, because she's all the way on the other side of the country, essentially. And so the contact and the visits weren't as frequent as when she was here in New York. But even when she was here in New York, it wasn't that often, too. But what the prosecution really wanted to know from Regina was everything that had happened specifically in December of 2011. If you guys remember that time period, that's around the time that Diddy had accused Cassie of cheating on him with Kid Cudi and the whole Kid Cudi relationship. So around this time period, Cassie came home from the holidays. We saw an exhibit.
Accused, Cassie admitted it. She was dealing with Kid Cudi. It wasn't no accusation. It was what it was. And he reacted like a simp. He was jealous. He probably went in a rage. But it wasn't accused. She was really with Kid Cudi.
Photo from an email from December 23rd of 2011, where Cassie emailed her mom on this email under the email address of Veronica Bang, one of the aliases that she had used. And she also attached Capricorn Clark, who had worked for Diddy, into this email. So I was able to scribble down just as much as I could as far as what all the contents were in this email, because this is an email that we had previously seen before. And so what Cassie relayed to her mother as well as Capricorn Clark was the threats that had been made toward me the threats that have been made toward me by Sean Combs are that he's going to release 2 explicit sex tapes of me, one on Christmas Day, maybe before or right after, and another one sometime soon after.
Yeah, see that, I don't like that part either. That's something, because you know in Cali, you can't fuck around with no sex tapes of nobody threatening what they call sex shaming or whatever type of shit like that. You can't do it. We need that law everywhere, because that's some foul shit. You got a sex tape with somebody, you had an intimate relationship, y'all break up, now you want to release the sex shit? That's some sucker, like, I gotta watch my mouth, but that's some weird, lame ass, weird stuff. You know what I mean? and I ain't got no fear of that because you know I would love you. Nah, let me stop. I don't. You know, I like. I can't understand a person doing that type of situation though. Like, oh, you don't want me? All right, let me release this sex tape and show everybody. That's messed up. That's disturbing. And yeah, you do that, your ass deserve to be in jail for a couple years because you shouldn't be doing that. That should have some, you know, that should be a universal law. I ain't gonna hold you because that's disgusting.
He also said that he will be having someone hurt me and Scott being Kid Cudi, physically. And it wouldn't be at the hands of Diddy himself. It would be essentially kind of saying that it would be up to somebody else's hands. But when Cassie's mom was on the stand and just kind of responding to everything like that, she had said things such as, the sex tapes threw me. I thought he was trying to hurt my daughter. And then they brought in that Diddy essentially demanded $20,000 from Cassie, pretty much, to the point that Regina and her husband, Cassie's father, took out a home equity loan for $20,000 just to meet Diddy's demand after he had requested money. And so
that accusation sounds crazy, but if it's true, Diddy is a next level type of foul guy. As rich as he is, $20,000, that's like 20 cents. That's like a dub. That's like $20. Come on, man.
Regina said that Diddy was essentially angry because he had spent money on Cassie, and Cassie was with somebody else, that other person being Kid Cudi, and that Regina had sent this $20,000 check after getting this loan from the bank to the bad boy account. But here's the thing, Jesse, it's just 4 to 5 days later, this check was actually returned to Regina and her family, so the money was given back to them. And this was something before the jury had even come in today that they were talking about in court outside of the presence of the jury, because the defense didn't want this testimony yet. They wanted nobody to hear this testimony. But this testimony came in today, so we did kind of know what a preview of it would be, and so she had testified to that fact today while on the stand. But we had seen some more exhibit photos, those taken of Regina, again, in that 2011 time period, of Cassie being bruised. They had mentioned that Cassie, her particular hairstyle around this time was that of a shaved head. Regina confirmed that between 2009 to 2011, Cassie's hair was shaved, and that's what the hairstyle that we had seen of Cassie kind of posing with some of the bruises inflicted by her then boyfriend, that being.
Because if he's threatening sex tapes, I'm expose this and destroy your career, or unless you this or that. Yeah, that's foul. That's blackmailing, and that's next level when you're exposing sex stuff. But if he's threatening to expose it, what is she doing in the sex tapes? Is she enjoying the acts? Like, let's speak real though. Let's speak real, because the whole picture they trying to make is like he was forcing her to do all this stuff. In my 40-something years on this earth, I knew a lot of female freaks. I know, and a lot of females that like to do different things. It's not unusual. And, some of my friends tell me stories about whatever else. Like, sex in the bed, that's different. Like, what they do, that's out it shouldn't be an issue if both parties is consensual. But if he's threatening to put out images and stuff, yeah. Well, he a piece of shit for that, and yeah. But does that carry life? Is that a life? You know what I mean?
Of Diddy. And so a lot of the big testimony, especially when it came to Regina Ventura being under direct examination, was about this $20,000 loan. Then there was another incident they had talked about, this one from this is from 2016. So this was around this was actually that same year the Intercontinental Hotel incident had happened, that essentially Regina traveled to LA for Cassie's birthday. Diddy took Cassie's phone after being mad at her. And then there was this whole incident where Regina called the police, and that Diddy gave the phone back eventually. Regina was screaming at Diddy to give her daughter her phone back. And that Regina even owned up to the fact that she tried to hit Diddy, while the person in the middle of this was D-Rock, one of the security guards, was in this kind of trying to de-escalate the entire situation. But, when it came to the cross-examination, I didn't even know what to expect for the cross-examination. But spoiler alert, there actually was no cross-examination. Mark Agnifilo got up on the stand and he essentially said, "I have no questions for you, Miss Ventura." Yeah. And then Regina Ventura was off the witness stand and done for the day.
Yeah, I think that's very...
Yeah, like, I could understand that. It's like, all right, we done with you. How are you even valid to this case? Like, Why are you even here? You have no significant information. Why are you on the stand? You look like Cassie, you know. Oh, look at me. We're twins, whatever. I'm sorry, y'all, but like, I don't understand why she took the stand. That's all.
Very strategic when defense chooses not to cross-examine a witness. There might be no benefit to them. There might be nothing they need to gain. They might be accepting what she says and just recharacterizing it. Remember, big theme in this case is it's not, it might be domestic violence, might be a turbulent relationship, but it's not sex trafficking or racketeering. Okay. So, Elizabeth, I know I only have a few more minutes with you, so I want to move on to the additional testimony of a man we heard about last week, the Punisher. That's his nickname. Who is the Punisher? What did he testify to so far?
Oh, my God, the Punisher.
Yep. Well, the Punisher, when he had come in...
She's smiling about him. She, yep, the Punisher. Yep, the Punisher. This motherfucker named the Punisher. Diddy been hiring somebody named the Punisher to punish his girlfriend. Damn, and him too, probably. That's crazy. That whew, next level stuff. But it's not no damn racketeering.
Didn't even realize he was the Punisher, because let me tell you something, Jesse. When we're seeing these exhibit photos of all the different men and the different escorts that were used during these freak-offs, or were kind of playing this type of role and these fantasies that were talked about during testimony, sometimes it's hard to be like, oh wow, that's actually this person. So when Sheree Hayes walked inside the courtroom today, I was like, oh, they're going to have another testimony from another person who worked with Diddy, but that wasn't the case. Immediately, just right off the bat, he had said that his nickname was the Punisher and that he was a male exotic dancer, and I was like, oh, that kind of clicked. So he had walked in.
It take a lot for Diddy to go ahead and fight this case and not cop no plea. He know all this shit gonna come out, but he like, what the fuck I do wrong? I don't think, like, he hired people. Yeah, his girl, they enjoyed it together. From what I'm seeing, this is what I'm seeing. Maybe it's later we're here, but I'm talking about based off Cassie's testimony. He hired these guys. Cassie liked it. They did their thing. They did drugs together, blah, blah, blah. They had domestic disputes that blew up. He beat her ass, which is foul. He needs to be in jail for every time he hit her. Yeah. But I'm just trying to figure out this racketeering RICO shit. That's all I want to figure out. I swear, and I'm not a dumb guy. You know, I may sound dumb sometimes, but I'm not dumb.
And he's a very tall man. He's well put together. He had an entire suit on with a tie. He's very built. And the first thing that the prosecution asked was just about the exhibit photos. Those exhibit photos being just kind of a standard press photo, essentially, of Diddy and Cassie. And he confirmed that that's Cassie Ventura and that's Sean Combs, a.k.a. Diddy. And so he said in the fall of 2012, he was paid to create a sexy erotic scene for a woman who had called him. He said that he met the two while he was working at a club event, but it was a woman who had called him saying that she wanted kind of a present by her husband around her birthday time, and that her husband said it was okay if she were to hire a dancer. So the Punisher initially thought that he was going to be doing kind of a dance for women at a bachelorette party, but when somebody opened the door, it was, lo and behold, Cassie Ventura. He had said that she was wearing a bathrobe and she was a wig, and initially didn't even recognize her at first. But this was this first meetup that they had, again, expecting a crowd during this, but really it was just Cassie in the room. Again, not knowing it was Cassie at the time. And then he was told that her husband wanted her to put baby oil on each other and create this kind of fantasy, this erotic scene, essentially, and that
Diddy is a major C-U-C-K. Well, I think it's C-U-C-K. Yeah, for sure. He's that. Okay, he's that. There's a lot of guys. Most rich billionaires, most of these rich white guys, oh man, if you could know the shit they do. But we hear details all the time. They do shit. Come on now. There's a market for it. So who's doing it? It ain't no nigga in the hood. It ain't no poor. It's the rich. It's these rich dudes. So, yeah, Diddy is a C-U-C-K. We know that.
Cassie handed him $800, but he had one kind of stipulation. He was told specifically not to acknowledge the husband or say anything to him. He said all the furniture was covered with sheets. There was baby oil and water off to the side, and that the Punisher and Cassie just rubbed baby oil on one another. He said after, while this was kind of going on, a man came out. He was nude. He had Astroglide in his hand, and however, his face was covered. And he says that during this, the husband, per se, was pleasuring himself and that type of thing. And the prosecution asked...
He's a CUCK. He knew these details was going to come out. See, I think maybe they thought Diddy was going to go ahead and cop a plea. Because he ain't want, but fuck it. You calling me this. Let's get the details out. Let's let the people decide. Oh my God, bro. Wowzer. He's a lame for that. He's a simp for that. He's a CUCK for that. And he's foul for abusing her, physically, but with these crazy sex racketeering charges, it's out of this world how they do it.
Was this man giving any type of direction or anything like that? The Punisher responded that that the direction was move to the side or position your body a certain way, and that this entire encounter lasted about 25 minutes to about half an hour, and that he actually didn't know it was Diddy or Sean Combs himself until later on. But he said after this whole entire encounter, he got more money, an additional $1,200. And then he was contacted again a few times, and he said he did this about 8 to 12 times even after the fact. And so that's where we would wrapped up when we were getting out of court for the lunch break. And so I expect testimony to pick up and go more into just everything the Punisher had kind of did during this entire time frame.
So the Punisher, who they named him or whatever it was named, he was getting paid to go rub baby oil on Diddy's girl, and Diddy rubbed oil. They rubbed oil on each other while Diddy sat back watching wild out on himself. Yes. What use was that testimony? First of all, second of all, that's not what they're trying to say. That doesn't describe these charges. First of all, what use was that other than being nosy and want to know exactly everything Diddy doing? Oh, fascinated with his whole sex life. What was the use of that other than that? Second of all, why doesn't that describe this crazy racketeering leader, mastermind, drug prostitute? I don't know what the fuck. It doesn't add up yet. I'm saying yet.
Again, the husband that he now knows to be Sean Combs, and again, the woman kind of pretending to be the wife, and this fantasy play, that being Cassie Ventura. So I expect more testimony to come from the Punisher, but don't know kind of what direction that'll go into. Sometimes you just never know in this case.
Listen, that's what we're trying to figure out. So, you are our eyes and our ears in that courtroom, always giving us up-to-date, detailed responses about what's happening with this testimony. And now we're here to try to break it down and try to make sense of it in the overall context. Elizabeth Milner, thank you so much for taking the time.
You're welcome, Jesse.
All right, so now we get back into the conversation. Okay, so we have questions coming in here, Serena and William. Before we even go into what Elizabeth said, we have a question that came in, a super chat question from Nest Dog. So thank you so much, Nest Dog. Serena, I'll throw it to you. I'm not sure I completely understand this question, but it says, if Puffy's return money, is it still extortion? I'm not sure I quite follow that one, but I'll throw it to you, Serena.
I think the import of that testimony, of the fact that Puffy asked them or demanded the $20,000, is less about whether they made out the elements of extortion, and it's more to show how abusive Puff was in that moment. $20,000 for P. Diddy is nothing. It's chump change. But
okay, she said abusive. That's where I'm confused at. We're foul, spiteful, and but abusive. See how they do that? Abusive. I'm confused by that. I'm very confused. She said abusive. He's abusive.
for Cassie and her family, it require them to take out a loan. It just goes to show the kind of control and abuse that he portrayed during that time period, which goes again towards the RICO charge of him controlling this criminal enterprise.
You want to validate Cassie's mom taking a stand, abusive. Shout out to Issa Wobbler, IP squad all day. And my boy EST, he say he cooked. I get it. Yeah, he cooked. But he should be cooked with domestic abuse, beating on, putting hands on females. Other than that, this shit is a trumped up. This shit so far is trumped up, and this white girl abusive.
And so I think that potentially the defense wanted to argue, we shouldn't hear this testimony. It's irrelevant. Maybe their argument was the money was returned and therefore there was no harm, no foul. But obviously the judge ruled that it was relevant to hear. And I think it goes towards the elements of the RICO charge for sure.
Talking about the questions that we have and money, we have another poll that we put up on YouTube. After the $20 million settlement against Diddy, should Cassie have pursued criminal charges, yes or no? Talk about that in a second. William, want to go to you. We have another question that came in that I thought was really interesting. This is from the Gemini Lab. Why do you think the defense skipped cross on Regina Ventura? Was that smart strategy or just no ammo?
Oh, I think it was brilliant. Cross-examining a victim's mother is very difficult to do. I don't think there was anything they could gain from her testimony. I actually think that it was exactly what I would have done. I think it's what most defense attorneys would have done. She painted a picture. She emphasized the domestic violence that clearly the defense had already accepted. The defense has almost essentially admitted to. And I think that there was nothing that they could have added in cross-examination. I think that she came across as a sympathetic figure, and I think that cross-examining her would have cut against anything the defense was trying to do.
I have a question from Amanda Tavares, but it's not for any of us, guys. It was actually for Elizabeth Milner, so I can't answer her question. But the question was, I have a question for the esteemed courtroom reporter whose name currently escapes me, Elizabeth Milner. Given the evidence presented, what is her assessment of the defendant's likelihood of acquittal? So when Elizabeth comes back on here, if she comes back on here, if they should decide not to come back on break, we'll ask her that question.
She would hate that.
Here's a question from Alexander Mateo for you, Serena. Will they ever show any of the evidence taken from Diddy's homes during the raids?
It's not evidence to the fucking racketeering. It's not evidence to the charges. It's evidence of freak-offs, pictures of him doing things in his personal life with people.
I would expect that they would. I mean, I think that the evidence that was gotten from his home is going to support the sex trafficking charge, is going to support the lifestyle that they're claiming P. Diddy had and imposed onto other people. I think even the fact of the matter that there were so many bottles of baby oil, for example, and Astroglide, I think that shows that it's more, I mean, we used to argue this as prosecutors. If you recovered a small amount of drugs, right, the argument is it was personal use. But if you recovered a huge amount of drugs, now you're talking about a drug dealer, potential enterprise. And so I think that these are elements of the crime. These are tools of the crime. And I do think that we will learn about what was recovered. And I think they'll use that against him.
It does become a question what we, the public, will see, right? So there were portions of sex tapes that were shown to the jury. As of right now, none of us are going to see that. And I actually, even someone from the media, I would say, I understand. I think that the risk of that getting out and what could be done with that outweighs whatever benefit there might be for a public interest, newsworthy exception for us to see it. I get it. It's an important piece of evidence, particularly if you have Combs maybe directing these performances as alleged by prosecutors and the witnesses. But at the same time, this is just such private details, such sensitive material. There is a concern about it getting out and how much the jury,
I don't see I don't see the benefit of releasing the pictures of the freak-offs or the video of the freak-offs of Cassie enjoying the freak-offs, and I don't want to get into details, but we all know the details. I don't see the benefit of that. Like, how does that help the case? We all established that there's freak-offs. We all know that. The baby oil, we get it. They do it at a high capacity or whatever. these people or whatever because I don't think I even understand the charges. To tell you the truth. Okay, paying for prostitutes to travel for sex. Okay, I don't think that's going to be a problem with proving, but I don't see how that carries life in prison. This whole case is a wobbler. It's a wobbler. Like I said, child ESC 87. This shit is a wobbler.
The public will see. Have a question here for you, Will. This is from Joe Midori. If Sean Combs is guilty on all allegations, what will be his sentencing?
Well, I think that if you stack everything on top of each other, he's looking at 100+ years. So there's so many charges here. Obviously, that's not what's going to happen here. If he's found guilty, there will be a pre-sentence report. That's how this works in the federal system. Each of the crimes with which he's charged, and for each crime he's convicted of, there is a range that he could be subjected to.
It's crazy how happy they are.
The questioning. So, Elizabeth, I want to.
They got a certain, not all of them, but certain people that got a whole idea of what's really going on before they were involved, like they were there. They think they really was there. We seen the video of Diddy, and I already made up my mind when I seen the video, the hotel video with Cassie. I definitely made up my mind. I'm like, get this dude out of here. But now with the new details, and now they saying, he's facing life and this and that. I'm definitely like, wait a minute, okay, let's not get out of hand here. Let's not get out of hand. He's facing life. You know what I mean? What's really going on? Let's see why. I want to know why. I didn't see it yet. But maybe we're soon to see it, y'all. I don't know what y'all think. Whatever. I'm gonna see what TMZ got to say, because we're talking about his whole life now. I could see 10 years shit for what he did to Cassie, physically abuse, but this next level shit is going crazy, y'all. Let's be real.
Welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
So every big trial seems to have a character that
standout
just pops
witness.
out.
Yes.
In O.J. Simpson, it was Kato Kalin.
Mm-hmm.
In Diddy, it's the Punisher. This is just almost hysterical.
Harvey, you probably got the Punisher on speed dial. I'm sorry.
Yes. And I can say hysterical because I'm not sure how he connects to any crime, but it's one of the most entertaining. Well,
you're not sure how he connects to any crime?
Correct. And we'll get into it.
Me too.
We'll get into it.
The guy, his name is the Punisher. We first heard about him when Cassie was on the.
Thank you, Harvey. You're pretty smart. Thank you. Any crime besides the little hiring of a prostitute, like.
It's the Punisher.
Man, look at him. Look at your boy Harvey partner. What? Any crime? You don't like. Come on, man.
This is just almost hysterical.
Yes.
And I can say hysterical because I'm not sure how he connects to any crime, but it's one of the most entertaining. Well,
you're not sure how he connects to any crime?
Correct. And we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
The guy, his name is the Punisher. We first heard about him when Cassie was on the stand, and she referred to one of the alleged sex workers that they had freak-offs with as the Punisher.
Okay, so let's get into it.
And so he took the stand today.
Yeah, he took the stand.
As an alleged sex worker, and you don't
Did they establish the freak-offs as a crime yet? Did they make the freak-offs a crime yet? Because I'm confused. I really like
how he fits into this case?
Problem, Charles, is that there has to be, and I don't want to
Let's get to it.
bogged down in it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Where is the interstate transportation? He's from Harlem, and he did it.
Right.
Everything he did that he testified
And
to
all of-
is
and
in
all of
New
the-
York.
and all of his
Is
parties
in
that were all in New York.
Essex House, Trump International Hotel, and that's what I saw. Now, maybe there's more, but that's what I saw. The Punisher meets Diddy and Cassie after Cassie says that I'm having a birthday party for my husband, and we'd love for you to come and be an exotic dancer. And so The Punisher shows up at the Trump International Hotel in New York City, and there are candles lit in the living room. And he walks in.
What a romantic setting.
And Cassie says to him,
Baby oil.
well, look, you know, my husband kind of wants to watch as you do some kind of an exotic dance. And why don't you go into the bathroom and maybe change into bathrobe or your underwear or whatever.
Slip into something more comfortable?
Well, he slips into nothing because he comes out naked. And then Cassie suggests that maybe they could even get more intimate as Diddy watches all of this as she is lathered in baby oil and they have sex.
Where's the crime?
And Cassie pays him. Initially, it was supposed to be $800, and then I believe she gives him another $1,200 on his way out the door. This was repeated over a period of time.
Right.
But
Harvey hella giggly. He hella kiki-ish speaking on this.
It's just like unbelievable.
So
some of the color of this witness. I'm telling you, he's written a book, and part of the book chronicles some of this, except he used aliases.
Do you know what the name of the book is?
I do. Why don't you mention it to our friends, wonderful people?
Yes. The title of the book is Freezer Meat.
And they said, why freezer meat?
Like, hold up.
And he said, well, that's as hard as it gets, essentially. So anyway.
Harvey, what's interesting to me about this guy is how does this relate to the case that they're trying to prove against?
Wow, somebody with some sense. Y'all caught up in this Diddy bad boy, big, international superstar shit. He's got to be bad. He's good. But the details that they provide, the people that's on the stand, it's like, this shit ain't adding up, homie. This case is not building up right. I'm glad somebody is feeling me, and I'm not on an island here.
It's Diddy. It does seem like it was
That's
a
my question,
very wild
Derek.
sex party, but
that's my question.
No, it's a good question with this witness because there's one instance where he says he saw.
I told y'all I ain't stupid. I'm smart. I told y'all. These people are crazy too. The way they reporting it, they really caught up in the details. It's like almost like they jealous. Some of these females.
Diddy giving Cassie some subtle directions about lighting adjustments. So I thought maybe this is a witness who saw coercion, who saw him actually sort of force Cassie into things. But that's not the nature of this testimony. It sounds like he was hired for some sort of sexual escapade. They did it and everything was consensual. So I'm not sure where this gets them.
And Derek, everything I saw was that it all happened in New York. At least that's what I looked at. And if it happened,
the prosecutor, I know where he going, so it ain't no traveling prostitutes. I get that. But the prosecutors, they was depending on Diddy copping out because they like he don't want these details to come out. What details? Freak offs? And they were depending on copping out. What do they have? This shit is stupid. They don't have nothing right now so far. I don't know what's coming up next, but for the case, this is dumb.
happened in just New York, it's not interstate transportation. So I don't see where any crime is in this one, at least based on what he testified to.
It is an odd.
This is just painting a picture. This is truly just freak shaming someone because all of his testimony seems to be of a party that maybe some people can't relate to. They don't have sex parties with the Punisher, but it doesn't seem.
The bigger issue that I talked about yesterday, which is if the jury feels they are reaching so hard to dirty him up, it might backfire.
It could. Yeah. I mean, I think they have a lot of dirty stuff. I mean, Cassie's mom testifying and so forth. They've got other testimony.
There's nothing dirty I heard besides sex, consensual, nasty stuff dealing with two consensual people. Cassie, we seen the text messages. We know what she was about. She was with it. Let's be honest here. I'm sorry. I said it. She was with it until she wasn't. And when she wasn't, he let her go. And he found Young Miami. And Young Miami's with it. The fuck? What's going on here, man?
That they're going to really bolster this RICO claim that he was running a criminal operation. I just don't know that the Punisher did anything than entertain the jury a little bit.
We're going to get to Cassie's mom in just a moment. But there were yesterday
The
they
whole big
displayed
thing with this
in,
is the freak-offs, right? So they
Right.
wanted to introduce the freak-offs to the public, and they did it through the Punisher.
But they've
That's what
already
they
done-
did.
they've already
But Jamie,
done
you
it,
know
though,
that one of the things that really got a lot of attention yesterday, and by the way, on our website is still getting a lot of attention, are these photos of the
Harvey defending this shit. Harvey like, shit, man. Did he just show me how to do some things? Like, what the fuck? This might be. I'm like, Harvey, like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me I can't hire no dudes and do what I do? That's what all these rich motherfuckers do. Trust me, I guarantee you. And the dudes and the rich motherfuckers that don't want dudes, they hire females. Why not? No harm, no foul. The female, the dudes and the females, they want to get paid. They out there getting paid. That's their job. You feel me? Nobody forcing them to do this stuff. Harvey is looking at it like, wait a minute. If we convict Diddy for this shit, I'm in a lot of trouble.
sex workers that they hired for the freak-offs. These, all their names and face.
Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Harvey like, I know him. Harvey like, I know him. I'm about to get my channel shut down again. I don't give a, but I'm speaking the truth, y'all. Come on now. Let's be real.
Faces were displayed in court, and so now everyone got to look at these guys.
And there's a TV show.
And people quickly noticed that at least that we figured.
See, they thought Diddy was gonna cop out. Diddy like, okay, shit. What my boy named New Jack City G Money or whoever his name is. If I'm going down, everybody going down. Not G Money, but the dude Nino. If I'm going down, everybody going down. He from Harlem, just like Diddy. Give a fuck. Diddy don't feel like he did nothing wrong. I'm telling you right now. He don't feel like the freak offs is nothing wrong. He do know when he whooped her ass that he deserves some punishment for that, or when he put his hands on females, yeah. But this freak offs, and from where I'm seeing right now, I don't see him. I don't see the wrong yet. I don't see it. I swear to God, I don't. And I'm not just trying to go against the grain or nothing like that. I'm always speaking non-biased. Y'all know me. The 1.5 person in here, y'all know me now. We got 8 people in here now, but whoever's in here, y'all know me.
So far, 2 of the guys were on a TV show called Gigolos, which immediately made me think, did Diddy and Cassie pick these guys out from
Because
watching
they saw
TV
the show.
It was on Showtime for quite a few years, and it was about a group
I remember
of guys
the show.
who were gigolos. I'll bet you do, Panama Ray.
Yeah, like they picked the guys out together. Like, what the? This is, and Diddy gotta go to jail for life for this shit now, because Cassie's, I don't know what's going on or whatever. Now Diddy gotta go to jail for life for this. They gotta have to come with more for me to, if I was on the jury. But who knows? Tell you the truth, Diddy might be fried already, based off how famous he is. His name, Bad Boy, the controversy that surrounds his name. He might be just fried with karma. But for what they trying to do, I ain't rocking with it. He's a foul, physical abuser of females. He need to be in jail for that.
Wow. They're guys who are.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I could not resist that. Anyway, it was a very popular show on Showtime. Come on, be professional. And 2 of these guys, Ash, and on the show, his name was Vin, though they displayed him in court as Jules. And we heard Cassie talk about Jules. Both of these guys were on that show and have very interesting stories in and of themselves. We actually did a story about Ash.
Right.
Years ago. He is in prison right now because he was at the time working as like a healer or massage therapist, but he had gone to a client's house in Vegas and they took mushrooms together. He admitted all this to the police, and then he literally beat her to death, punched her, and she ended up dying from the blunt force trauma of his blows. And so now he's doing time. He's in prison, but he was a guy that Cassie says they frequently hooked up with.
And again, This is a very specific case about specific charges. And it's true that closing arguments is when prosecutors try to tie everything together. But if the jury is asking the question, at least that I'm asking, which is, okay, and they're watching it that way, and they start thinking, why are they reaching for this?
Do you run a risk of losing the jury? Like, what
Yes.
What if the prosecutors do actually, like you say, close the loop and they come back to it, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 weeks from now?
They may have lost him by then.
Right. Like the jurors.
They already have they've already formed the thought that, first of all, it's all over the place. And secondly,
somebody's messing up in the government. I ain't gonna hold you. And this, I don't know if this is another case like the state situation that happened in Atlanta with Young Thug, but Diddy been a New Yorker for a long time. I'm sure he got a lot of enemies in that office. So I hope this ain't no personal vendetta bullshit, and people gotta learn their lesson. Because if it is, it's bad. Don't charge the man for some shit that he ain't do. Charge him for what he did. That's all I'm saying.
I'm hearing about things that don't align with what he's charged with. And if, because I don't get the Punisher. I don't understand the point of it. And, if there was a real point, you would have thought the prosecutor would have brought it up during opening statements to say, and we're going to call this guy called the Punisher because, so at least the jury knows why.
Right.
But I don't know about you. I'm confused.
No,
about him.
the Punisher is an absolutely confusing witness. As far as what he testified to. Who was not confusing to me, though,
is the mom.
The mom. Cassie's mom, Regina Ventura, was on the stand and testified about a transaction that went down between herself, her husband, and Diddy. A $20,000 transaction that she says this was money that Diddy demanded from her. In her words, he wanted to recoup money he was losing because at the time Cassie was then dating Kid Cudi.
So Cassie sent her mom an email saying that Diddy had threatened to release some of the freak-off tapes, sex tapes. She wasn't specific in the email, but on the heels of that email, she and Cassie and her mom had a discussion where the $20,000 came up. So I think the idea here is
the mom was linking it.
Yeah, they're trying to say, give me the $20,000 or else I will release the sex tape.
Yeah.
So I think they're doing.
I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. I'm just not buying it. I think maybe Cassie just told her mom that, or her mom's lying or something. I'm not buying that. That's just me though. I could decide to believe what I want to believe. You feel me? Like that's crazy as hell. I know Diddy was jealous as hell of her dating somebody else. And even if it's true, yeah, Cassie was signed to Bad Boy, Diddy the boss. She got involved with the boss. Now, whatever happened, other than you escaping abuse, you escaping this, you go to police. You go to police. You escaping this foul abuse and shit like that, you're supposed to go to police. Who else you going to go to? You're going to fight it yourself or whatever else as a female? Like, no. So you're saying that you left Diddy, and now Diddy find out he losing money. Oh, he got jealous and he just got in a jealous rage and controlling to where you're like, okay, you leaving? I need $20,000. I'm losing money on you, type shit. Oh, man, this just sounds crazy, bro. It really do.
This for the purpose of racketeering, and that would seem to be the point of all of this.
You got to imagine how damaging. By the way, she said that they had to take out a loan to pay him the $20,000.
A mortgage.
Diddy doesn't need $20,000.
Did he?
Or did they say, "Oh, fuck that, you done with him? I'm gonna pay this and get it over with," by their choice type shit. Who knows? That's what people do with pride. People of pride and like got some morals and values. They make them type of decisions. They're like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna give you this, and now I'm done with you."
Return the money. Diddy got the money and then he returned the money. So it was really just kind of a flex.
Did he return it when he and Cassie got back together?
They unclear on that. Unclear on
Wouldn't
that.
you be nervous if he returned the money that he had some consciousness that this looked like an extortion attempt and he wanted to pull the reins back a little bit?
Well, if it's true, it is an extortion attempt. I mean, if it's
right,
true,
and that's the problem.
it
Is
is
he sort of
extortion.
acknowledging that he was making an extortion attempt and then pulls it back? That's great for the prosecution.
That would be great for the prosecution.
Harvey, you know that's dumb as hell. Like I know that's dumb as hell. Diddy been rich and famous for a long time to just blatantly try to extort somebody that's going against you and not think that the people. Come on now, that sounds stupid as hell. That sounds dumb. He's not. I don't think Diddy's that stupid. He's dumb as hell, and like I said, he's a domestic abuser. But that sounds stupid. That story sounds dumb.
In terms of proving extortion. Now, the question, is it racketeering? And I think the defense's argument, and again, I'm just telling you what I think the argument is, not whether I embrace it or not, but the defense's argument is, yeah, it was extortion because he was pissed off that she's dating Kid Cudi. It doesn't make him an organized criminal. And, you know,
they can make that argument. I just think
these are the means of the criminal enterprise he was running: extortion, threats, other types of coercion, and they're painting a picture that he ran this vast criminal enterprise.
But this
with
vast
many
criminal-
You're a dummy. That guy, I hate that. Extortion, threats. I don't know why you two don't like me, but I ain't mean to say I hate him. Let me take that word back. But he sounded quite simple just now. But I know he's just making a show. He's performing.
enterprise. He's
and use these
putting
means.
he's putting ecstasy in a Louis Vuitton bag, Derek. I mean, come on.
That's the only thing you keep pointing to.
I mean, but
he
that's
also
what they're
threatened his
bringing up
workers
in
to
court.
stay
He
quiet about
threatened
it.
his assistant, David James, that testified and said that Diddy literally looked at a video of him, David James, partying at one of his parties while he was on
And
ecstasy.
said, I could release this thing.
And said, hey, I'm just going to hold on to this in case I need it at some point.
I get it. I get it. I'm just saying, look, everything they're painting, he is a terrible guy.
Right.
But this has to, racketeering typically is not used for these things. You have individual crimes of extortion, threats, and whatnot, but to create a criminal organization with one guy is very unusual.
In the same way that they could lose.
You there a little bit more.
What was that, Derek?
At Mel's.
What was that? We missed the top of what you said. What was it?
What about, hey, personal assistant, let's grab some guns and go confront Suge Knight, my arch nemesis in rap, and let's go threaten him. Is that starting to get closer to a kind of criminal enterprise you could get on board with?
They didn't say let's threaten him. He just said he brought some
Okay, but
guns.
he still had to drive them down there with armed guys to go meet Suge Knight.
I get it, but he never said, okay, I'm going to go shoot Suge Knight. He never said that.
The only thing I would
By the way,
we are all reacting to this as jurors might, right? Because the juror, and you're right, at some point, are they asking the jury to make a slight leap? Yes, but will the jury make that leap, especially if they just hate everything about Diddy?
Okay, so I have one final question for you. Do you think I have any good points in what I'm saying?
Yes, and I've said so. When you have made those good points, I have said so.
And I think you have good points too.
But you've never said so.
I'm saying it, and my point being, that's what you call a hung jury.
Might be your best point.
Hey, my name is Nick from Knoxville. I think your guys'
I don't want to hear you. Now let's hear him.
points are absolutely correct of like bringing the Punisher up there. If he's guilty of all these giant crimes, but it seems like they don't have a lot of proof. It seems like they're saying, look at all these weird things he did. So it shouldn't be that shocking if he would do these other things, right? Just like you.
And the Punisher didn't say, yeah, Diddy told me to grab her and he made me do this and he said I'm gonna, and he threatened me and he. No, the Punisher was a paid worker.
You said it's losing me if I was a juror. It feels like they're just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks at this point.
That's the way I'm seeing it. That's the way I'm seeing it.
So
We
the
will see.
Punisher could lead to a hung jury.
Wow, y'all. If they keep Diddy ass off the stand, this might be a hung jury or mistrial. You know, we talk about the feds, they never lose. This thing is looking bad. I told you I'm not stupid. I'm looking at the whole situation. I'm looking at his charges and what they're trying to say. Yeah, you're a freak, you know. And they thought because Neo and Usher name was involved, and I ain't hear about Justin Bieber yet, but they saying Justin Bieber, whatever the fuck, all these big names, that he was gonna cop out and be done with it. Nah. The boy said, y'all saying I'm doing what? Let's take this to court. The internet exposing the truth for Adam 22 now. He said, we taking this shit to court. Like, I'm not doing this. Y'all accusing me of some crazy shit. I can't stand for it. Is he guilty? Yes. Of beating Cassie? Yes. His ass needs to be in jail. Domestic abuse. Even though we know a rich person could do that to his wife and he'll be out on bail and he'll get probation. We know that. A white guy could do that to his wife all on and he'll be out on bail, he'll get probation. That's a fact. But because of the deep hate, and like I said, this man has been a New Yorker for a long time. He's been hated in New York for a long time. He got enemies. Enemies in the government, enemies in the streets, enemies that's what's gonna come with, doing what being him, basically. Diddy ex-bodyguard. This dude, he the one that yeah. But at the same time, shit, we gotta respect the criminal system and we gotta treat him accordingly. He ain't no big time organized racketeering motherfucker that needs to be in jail for life under the jail. He needs to be used for all his money for this domestic shit, used, to help domestic violence cases, taught how to do better. His dad was killed. His mom, she's his number one supporter. She fuck with him, but something went wrong in his childhood, obviously, because I always believe everybody is who they are because of what they went through. That's a fact. And I'm not saying he's an angel. Like I said, the boy needs to be in jail. I seen how he did her, grabbed her up, beat her down. But they saying for life, bro. They saying some Gotti shit. Do you know Gotti killed people? Gotti had people murdered. A lot of people. That was a part of the business for real. I don't think Diddy on that timing. I really don't. So I want to react to this shit now. We're gonna change it up a little bit because I'm a big fan of this show, the Fat Joe and Jadakiss show. Even though Fat Joe be lying like a motherfucker. But we're gonna get into this. It said Fat Joe and Jadakiss share wild, untold DMX and Big Pun stories. Yeah, I'm here for that. We going always on my reactions. I'm gonna start ending it on a good note. It sounds like some funny stuff. Let's go.
Week in hip hop history, y'all. May 19th, man. DMX dropped in 1998. The Dog. Always love for the Dog. 1998, he dropped his debut album, It's Dark and Hell Is High.
I was on Rhode Island getting money. Me and my little brother out there hustling. We thought we was on top of the world till they raided. I remember when I was posted up when they raided. I'm counting money they raided. But DMX, and then he dropped the Flesh of My Flesh same year. He had I know he had the world on lock, but I can speak for the East Coast. He had the East Coast like on fire, on lock. Shout out DMX, rest in peace, man. That dude, the Dog, was one of the greatest.
The importance of that album to me is that, he put us on. He came and got us, bought us with Rough Riders, told them we starting it off like, this who I want to represent.
Hey, that's a cold fact too. I ain't even repeat that because Locks is going through a lot of turmoil with Diddy. Sorry, but it's what it is. With Diddy, Diddy was working them for their bread, fucking them out of their contracts, all the publishing and shit. They got out of that contract through a hard fight in the streets. Big, very controversial, crazy situation. They got out of that contract, and DMX dropped them bombs and brought some damn validity to Rough Riders. He made Rough Riders valid in the streets with that first album. DMX was so fucking big, no nasty. DMX was the one. He was the one, and I ain't even peep how he basically saved Locke's career single-handedly. He saved a whole lot of people's career. Rest in peace to DMX, man. Rough Riders.
With me, and the rest was history. To see where we came from, to see where he came from. He was already damn near like Bruce Springsteen and YO. We already looked at him as like a rock star. Then fast forward him being the only or one of the only rappers that ever do Woodstock. That shit is crazy. You know what I mean?
That videotape
It's hot.
forever.
One of the only rappers that ever do Woodstock. Woodstock is a fucking, a staple, the American staple in history and everything. Kids know about Woodstock and don't even know how they know about it. But I hope he tell the other fact that he's one of the only rappers that dropped 2 platinum albums back to back in the same year.
Will forever mean the world to me because, you know what I mean, he gave me a chance to change my family's financial situation.
You know, DMX stuck a guy up right in front of me.
DMX stuck a lot of niggas up.
DMX, no, but he was already a star.
Fat Joe, you fucking stop it. Stop dirtying up the man's name. You always telling cap stories, stuck a guy up right in front of me. Fat Joe, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? He stuck a guy up right in front of you. All right, let me hear the story, Fat Joe. Hear the story.
Oh, he did it after he was ex?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
It's me, him, and Pun in a gas station in Brooklyn. After a show, thousands of people after a show, we in the gas station. Dude comes with some chains, and DMX was like, yo, hold up, y'all. He went and took his chains, came back and started talking to us in the gas station. Yo, DMX.
You can't get in.
You just said he stuck a guy up. I got to rewind. I'm sorry, yo. I'm sorry, because I want to know what he called sticking the guy up. He said DMX stuck a guy up in front of me.
Went and took his chains, came back and started talking to us in the gas station. Yo, DMX.
You can't get indicted. He dead, so.
No, he done. He dead. I'm just telling you a true story. Like, I got so many
You got no respect for him. He done. He dead. Like, this dude is something different. Fat Joe is, he on a mission to make this podcast something. He gonna lie and cap his way to the top. I swear to God, bro. It's like, why you had to really go there, though? And then he done. He dead. How about we give him some flowers and really give him some positive flowers for his kids? And there you go. He stuck a guy up right in front of me. He said he did it in front of him. Then said he came back. Like, this dude is wild, bro. He's a wild habitual. He's a habitual liar. Habitual.
Yo, DMX.
You can't get indicted. He dead, so.
No, he done. He dead. I'm just telling you a true story. Like, I got so many DMX.
We gotta filter some of these stories,
Yo,
Craig.
I'm telling you.
Thank you. Jadakiss ain't with that. Jadakiss is not with that. Jadakiss ain't with that. He said we gotta filter these stories, crack. Jada ain't with that for the clout, this internet clout. He not with that. Look at crack. I'm telling you, he stuck a guy up right in front of me. When he was DMX, he stuck a guy up right in front of me. The man got kids. The man is resting in peace. Not one time did you say rest in peace, respect to X, this and that, nothing. Maybe because X didn't fuck with you in real life. Because you're not showing no type of respect. He's done. He's dead. What's wrong with this dude, man? You's a foul-ass Bronx liar, bro. You lying. He's a liar, bro. You're a liar.
You might have. You gotta have incredible DMX.
I'm not telling you none of them. The crazy, since we gon'
Like a real one. Shout out Jadakiss. Like a real gangster. What the fuck is wrong with Fat Joe?
I gotta give a punch story. Look, when we shot the John Blaze video.
DMX showed up?
No, listen. This is how long ago it was, and this how crazy. This when stash boxes first got invented. He wanted to test his shit out.
It was more before that, but go ahead. It was in the 80s we had stash.
They wasn't doing what the shits was doing.
If it ain't a extraordinary lie, some extravagant lie, Joe ain't really here for it. It got to be some just extravagant, crazy, off the wall story that just can't be true for Joe to be interested. He don't want to hear that. I guarantee you, Joe gonna cut him off with some next level, with something bigger than what he's saying.
As the technology
All right,
evolving,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can hit
So
the
Pun
blinker
want to
in
show
the
you the
trunk.
stash, huh?
He wanted to test his own shit out. He drove. Somebody was driving. He was in the passenger. Let off a I don't know what it was. Da, 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 and wanted to get pulled over. And got pulled over. And I said, this nigga's nuts, though.
No, he is nuts.
That was the craziest
And what, he
shit.
put it in the stash?
He
Yeah,
had
so the
enough in
cops
front
ain't
of the
see-
cops, let it off, pull it, block it, pull over. I don't know what you're talking about, officer. This. And they ain't have the shit that make it pop out yet. So he was.
That's a good story. I believe Jada. That's a good ass story. So he wanted to test his stash box. Test the stash box. See if that shit really valid. Test that shit. Let the clip off, probably with a switch on it too. Throw it in the stash box, pull off. Yeah, you know, I ain't gonna lie. Cocaine is a serious drug. And also that Hennessy, because that's what niggas is on. That Hen Dog, that's another serious one too. But I believe Jada's story. I do. I can't really rock with Joe's story though. I believe Jada's story.
I said, this nigga Pun is crazy. I just had the bins.
The way they
He said, see, Jada said, "Oh, you want to incriminate the homie? Let me incriminate your homie too. Then let's just dirty each other homie's name up. Let's dirty each other dead up. Dirty each other dead." Wow, Fat Joe started it.
explain it to you. The way they explain it to you, right, is you know how somebody could be a genius and
Here it come. Here it come. Here come that remarkable story. Here it come. I'm telling you right now. Here it come.
something, and then in just common sense, he just don't know what he's like. I would go to his house, right, and he would have about 30, 40 guns in his house. And you said,
I told you it was coming. He got 30, 40 guns. 30, 40. Oh my. Oh shit. 30, 40 guns. Big Pun had the crib. 30, 40 all out. 30, 40 guns. Whew. I told you it was coming. I told y'all it was coming.
and the pillow was a gun. You put your hand on the chicken, it was a gun. You hit it. It was just
You put your hand on the chicken, it's a gun. See how quick he could see. Oh man. This podcast, it might do something because he gonna get Jada in a whole lot of trouble for sure. Cause he just go.
and I would sit there because I really came from the streets. I know what Rico and Dykesman saw.
PST, I swear to God, I never watched this before. I watched it real time with y'all, and I knew it was coming. 30, 40 guns.
Indictments are. I know what all this is. I done came from. I'll be like, "Hon, they're gonna make a jail just for you, buddy.
Never got indicted.
Nah, they don't lock rappers up like that. They got swimming pools for rappers and all that. Tennis courts. I'm like, yo.
He's thinking
bro,
about the futuristic feds.
What? And I would tell him like, yo, Pun, you're crazy, bro. Then I go around his hood and the cops pull me over, right? Because Pun one of the only rappers who never moved out the hood, even till he died. He refused to move out the hood. I was already in Jersey, like, yo, come to Jersey. Birds are chirping. You know, I'm in the hood. I'm the realist. This Pun at the crib in the hood, 10 Benzes, exotic $20,000 dogs, and
10 Benzes in the hood.
all type of shit. Like, he was Big Pun, double platinum in the hood.
Scooter.
He didn't care. And so I would go to his hood, and as a respected elder brother, the police pulled me over. So I'm like, yo, officer, why you putting, yo, Joe, man, you know, you got to stop throwing eggs at the old ladies in front of the supermarket. You know, we know he's the only guy with the Benz, with the water gun shooting the old ladies. I'm like, yo, I go in his house, I start arguing with everybody in the house. Like, yo, Pun, they're gonna put you in jail. You shooting the water guns at the old ladies. They know the only guy with a 500 Benz in the fucking Soundview is you, Pun. You're going, nah, he just didn't. He
went from 10 Benzes to a 500 Benz. This guy is something different, bro. He's something different.
he would go real from genius to common sense, no sense. Like, I had a real struggle with him and Nori, because Nori's also my little brother.
When they was together, they was crazy. Them two together is nuts.
Oh, they used to see me and be like, yo, Joe's the fun killer. He's the fun killer. No, I don't want you to go to jail and not get to the bag. Like, I know what's going on out here. You guys are too crazy. Thank God we ain't have IG back then.
Thank God they have the
I'll tell you a
damn-
quick story.
the
We had this
phones.
joint like this. 2 days ago, it was hot in New York. I'm outside of Rich Players, the Dynasty Commodity, the weed spot.
Dispensary.
Right, dispensary. Cock diesel little Spanish dude is walking through with the tank top like this. Right? I try to look away, I already know. He makes a U-turn. Yo, Joe, you got me through my bid. I did 26 years, this, that. One thing I could tell you, before I was a tough guy, when I was 5 years old, I always knew the guys who just came home from jail.
How the hell you knew that when you were five?
I'm 5. You know, these guys got tank tops and they walking like, you know, they strutting around the thing. I knew this guy just came out of jail. When it had to be the same way in
How
Yonkers.
they come in this city, come
You
from the
know
park,
they come
off the
over.
bar.
He knew at 5 years old, the guys that's coming home from jail, he knew at 5 years old. Damn. That's in tune. That boy's in tune.
5 years old, I knew that man came home from jail. And it's preferably just before the summer, they coming out with a tank top and all that. Well, anyway, he did it. I grabbed him so fast.
EST,
hugged him.
5 years old.
Yo, thank you. I said, you see that? There's a camera in the store. I walked with him 2 more steps. You see that? It's a camera. I walked with him 2 more steps. You see that? It's a camera. I'm not exaggerating. When you come to Richest Joint, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how I walk.
So he trying to explain why, basically, he ain't the fat gangster that he say he is, because he was always on top of Nori and Pun. Oh, don't do this, don't do that. They're going to put you in jail. So he trying to explain it now. At 5 years old, the homies took me and told me the cameras, this and that. Okay, I get it. But 5 years old, homie? Jeez. The reason why he say that, because he got caught up. He said, before I was a tough guy. So they had to think of a young ass age. 5 years old. After 5, I was at 6, 7, I was a tough guy. But 5 years old.
Maybe halfway to the corner, we passed 10 cameras. I said, brother, can't do nothing no more. You're going to jail. Look at this. We're on camera. That's what Fat Joe's going to tell you after 26 years. You take that with you if you want. You're not getting away because.
But based off of your history, according to you and your book and everything, you was a wild one. You was a wild, crazy, super psycho, crazy motherfucker out there. But now you saying you learned at 5 years old not to do nothing because you go into jail because of the cameras. Okay.
Is he walking down, and now he's in the Black Harlem. He's Puerto Rican. Diddy, he just wanted to smoke. I'm just trying to let him know you on camera, P. I don't give
a Jada. Look at Jada. Yeah, Jada is. I know Jada like this nigga is funny as hell. Cause he is. Jada reading right through this shit, but both of them niggas want to get this podcast off. I get it. It's big money in this shit.
The hell, what hand skills you learned in jail? You're going back to jail.
You the 52, man.
Yeah, he coming through with the. I said, yo, bro, really politely. Look. It's crazy because Remy came to the thing and I told her that story before and I said, let me show you the story. She said, what you mean? She came the other day to Rich's Joint. I walked her 4 stores down and there was 10 cameras that saw us.
10.
I said, yo, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing.
It's ill how his numbers is always, he always know how many. It's 50 guns, 40 guns, 10 cameras. He be on point with the numbers. That boy count quick. So his brain like registered all 10 of them. 10 cameras. That's ill.
Kids,
somebody will still be stupid and try. Somebody will still try some dumb shit.
Kids,
that's
if
just
you
how it
shoot
go.
the place, you're on camera. You're not getting away with it. You're done. gone 20 years, your life.
We're in a very violent space today.
I don't sound gangster what he's saying.
We're counseling. You're doing it with counseling, though. So
I'm trying to do some positive shit here. When I think about, when we talk about the perfect MC, the perfect rapper, perfect performer, entertainer, came up a lot today. I think DMX shows which one of them DMX songs. You was there at every song he recorded.
I was there for a lot.
Drop, shut him down, open up.
When I think about it, I'm gonna put X up there too, like the perfect rapper, performer type of dude. I don't know ESC, but I'm thinking X. I'm trying to think. It's gonna take me a minute, but I'm talking about all around great performer. You know, Ja Rule is one of them. 50 is one of them. But DMX offered a lot more. DMX offered a lot more than these two. DMX, he gave you his whole soul up there, and it was entertaining, and he was a huge star. So I don't know. I gotta say X. Drake, Kendrick, whatever. But I'm talking about without the gimmicks, without the money, without DMX was you say Buster, okay. Yeah, performer, okay. Buster up there. It's performer, because Buster, but that boy DMX, he offers, that pray, that's a big thing. He give you a lot, and at the same time, it covers everything. The girls, the toughness, the vulnerable. Like, do Buster offer you all that? Vulnerability, a ladies' man, tough guy, prayer and humbleness, all in one, with the rowdiness and everything else. And he was a big platinum artist at the same time. I mean, yeah, that's the argument, but DMX is up there, though.
I don't think he wanted to do that. When Swiss first brought it to him, he didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to do that?
At first, I don't think he was like happy to do it until when it was done.
When I tell you,
it was a major hit.
And at this time, I was still halfway in the Bronx. So I'm at the car wash. And when I tell you, every single car, I don't care, it was a Spanish dude that would be playing salsa. They was playing that shit. Like, that song had me the dizziest. You know how you go Fordham Road? Where you go in Yonkers when you want to see if your record was popping? Like Benjamin's,
you go
came
to
outside.
125th, you go to Fordham, you go to
Fordham,
you go
right?
to Fordham.
I used to do that. If I drop a record,
you see the
everybody
cars
like, yo,
coming
Joe,
up and down the hill.
I'll stand and see who's playing my album, whatever.
Up and down the hill, yeah.
Man, I have never witnessed in the history of the Bronx. Stop. Shut him down. Yo, I was dizzy. It was everywhere. Like, that was the craziest to me of standing outside trying to hear your song.
That was that shit right there.
And he didn't even want to record that.
I think Swiss had a little problem making him, getting him to lay once he final with the final mix and mastered version came out, and they knew what it was.
That shit was crazy. Stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop. Oh no, that's how these IP roll. Shout out ESC87, it's a wobbler. Shout out to the Cheat Cheat Challenge. Shout out to B-Rad. That was another Bush reaction. I'm gonna probably get my clips right. But man, appreciate everybody. We out of here, y'all. Peace.